we OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for the Ordinal Hour, and this one is going to be absolutely amazing, guys, because we can't have 3 bad weekends in a row, right? We 2 weeks ago, we had the whole AI craziness that happened, and all the AI coins died. Last week, we had the tariff thing. We can't have another bad weekend, can we? It can't happen 3 weeks in a row. So I got a feeling this weekend we're going to see very bullish momentum. And leading into next week, remember, we have the CPI, we have the PPI. It's going to be a huge economic data week. And I think that's going to kind of push us into the end of this month, where we're going to have a very bullish ecosystem. I got a feeling, guys. I really do. I'm getting bullish because everyone else is bearish. When everyone is leaning one way, the market likes to go the other way. And if you go around crypto Twitter, if you go around, talk to anybody right now, especially in altcoins, they're going to be like very bearish, right? Retail is here, but they're very bearish. They have a lot of money on the sidelines, and there's so many stable coins. Record setting for USDC, just sitting on the sidelines waiting for a little bullish momentum, and they're going to get that. They're going to get that very soon, guys. I'm really excited. But without further ado, let me bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling? I'm feeling bullish. Maybe it's not a good thing. I don't know, but I have it running through my veins right now, adrenaline.
Yeah, well, a lot of volatility this morning, right? We got over 100K barely, and then now it seems like it wants to reverse course, right? But we still have a lot of time left in the day, heading into the weekend. So I don't know. I would think we wouldn't have 4 weekends in a row of just bearish sentiment, but we shall see. I'm hoping from some positive energy heading into kind of that second week of February. A lot of people are saying mid-February, late February, we'll get a good bump, but we'll see, man. Bitcoin tends to do whatever the hell it wants right now.
Yeah, 100%. But the last 2 weekends just wasn't like bearish, right? They were like really bad. Like, especially
we
last
had a
weekend,
break. We actually had a break in between. So 3 weekends ago was the AI. Then we had a little break, and then we had the tariffs last weekend.
I don't think we had a break. I think it was 2 weeks in a row.
I could be wrong, but
2 weekends in a row. I know crypto feels like it's a lot longer because we're here every day, but it was the last 2 weekends, man. I'm 100% positive. because the AI stuff. I just watched the All In episode, and they were just talking about the AI stuff for the first time, and that was like last week. So the new one hasn't dropped yet for this week, but kind of expecting kind of the same thing. But I'm kind of thinking that this weekend, I think we see 102, 103,000 Sunday night going into Monday. Very bullish. But then what normally happens, though, to start the week bullish, especially on CPI week, it usually goes the other way by the end, right? So I don't know how I'm feeling about that. We do have, next week kind of can build some momentum, though, if it isn't. Let's just say CPI numbers do come in good, and then we can kind of get bullish going into the end of the month.
Yeah. One thing that you mentioned is, the markets tend to start to do the opposite of what the overall market sentiment like really starts to buy into. And I feel like right now, the overall space, you see it on crypto Twitter, you see it on different social media platforms and video streaming platforms, that people have started to accept this like kind of doom and gloom sentiment. And so, might need to be a little bit longer in that, and then all of a sudden flip the switch. But you're right. We are still in a bull market technically, if you look at the timelines and stuff. And so we haven't seen the best of this bull market. I don't think we haven't seen anything close to that. But I don't know how long it's going to take to get there. That's the problem.
100%. Yeah. I think it's going to happen this spring, and hopefully end of February, early March. But we'll see. But let's kind of jump into it. Bitcoin sitting at 97,800 right now. And then this YouTuber, Miles Ducher, he's formerly of Crypto Banter, but now he has his own thing. He said, if this actually happened, let me bring it up here. If this actually happened, 90% of the market would be completely offside. And let me grab it right here. Here it is.
What does he mean by offside, I wonder?
So let me show you the thing. So offside meaning sitting on the sidelines, just like not ready for this, right?
Gotcha.
So if you look at here, January 2017, obviously we had this pump. January 2021, we had this pump. January 2025, right? We're just kind of getting started here, but he's thinking, that we could, if we saw this, right? I mean, this is January, February, March, right? So January, February, March. I mean, that would be an insane next 2 months.
Yeah, I actually love this kind of data because it's the you set up the kind of rhyme for the viewer, the audience, and you're just setting up the exact kind of similar data set with the previous cycles, right? And those we're in the bull run year, which is similar to 17, 21. That looks great. And I almost wonder if those, like 2021. Those people could have definitely be feeling similar to how we feel right now. Because look at that steep correction that they went through, And 17 wasn't as bad. It was a little bit like it was small, kind of, No, I'm talking about right before the jump up. I'm talking about,
you mean down here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
But if you see in 2021, that seemed kind of depressing, And so, maybe we're gonna see something in between, which would be great either way, So a little bit better than 17, but not maybe as potent as 2021 in terms of the uptick, and I'd take that. I think a lot of people would say that I'd take anything at this point that's replicates anything similar to those two situations.
I mean, let's just say we copy here. I mean, that's still a giant momentum swing, and then some sideways, and then down, and then upward momentum. And this is probably like August, right? But I'd be happy with here. I honestly be happy with this. I'll take anything at this point. So
just
I don't know. Just upward momentum. Here we go. We got Bitcoin exchange net flow just hit an all-time low. This means more Bitcoin than ever is leaving exchanges. And I have a chart here. And this is so yesterday for Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'll go over to the Bitcoin one first. But as you can see here, this is the biggest out-day flow. One day, bro. In one day, we saw it. We just beat every month since like November right now, of just Bitcoin just being wiped out from exchanges right now. I mean, we haven't seen this since December 7th. And we remember how bullish December 7th was. That was right before the giant AI boom. But we're seeing the same exact thing happen again.
Yeah, so this is on centralized exchanges.
Yeah.
So are they dry?
This is the net outflow. This is the inflow, outflow.
Yeah.
But look at last time. When we saw this, we saw a lot of inflow as well.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing no inflow. We're just seeing outflow this time.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
it's not just so Bitcoin, there was a lot there, but it wasn't just Bitcoin. It was Ethereum too. Because this chart right here, same thing. Well, we have never seen this. I mean, we're going all the way back to this is only January 28th, but like it's just absolutely insane. We had some inflows, a little bit of outflow, then dude, this like the comparison is absolutely insane. Mine, it's 17,000 Ethereum would have just ripped up from exchanges. It's this one right here.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
So you're saying that people are taking them off of exchanges, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Gotcha.
They're just
Yeah.
being withdrawn from all exchanges right now to the point where exchanges they don't have enough to cover some of the leverage positions. They're not letting you take like insane leverage right now because they don't have the Ethereum to cover it.
So if that's the case, okay, something's off because the math ain't mathing, right? And so go ahead.
No, good. That's true, saying.
Okay, so when centralized exchanges start to dry up with like these majors and blue chips like Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana, the demand starts to really trounce the supply, right? And so the problem is the shift to DeFi. You see like Hyperliquid and stuff like that, and then really pump fund. And a lot of these people, so if institutions are coming in and sweeping that up, that's fine. But I wonder if a lot of people are taking Ethereum off centralized exchanges to play with DeFi and pump fund and stuff like that. I don't know. You get where I'm coming from? Like I feel like the price, the supply is not springing the price up based on the demand that we're getting from the data from centralized exchanges. Is what I'm saying.
Well, that's where it gets interesting, right? Because there's no demand yet. It's just people that are holding Ethereum on the exchanges are like, you know what? I don't want to sell this anytime soon. I'm taking it off, put it in my hardware wallet, safer there. I'm holding it for 3 to 6 months. It doesn't matter. I'll send it back when you take it back. I'm taking it off. Gotcha. And if there's no demand, if there's withdrawal, right? And then if we get a spark of demand, we could see the price fly up because then it becomes a problem with supply versus demand.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I had that wrong in my head. I was correlating, strongly with taking off of centralized exchanges as purchasing as well, but that's not the case. Yeah. You're right. They're probably more self-custodying it, doing whatever they want, maybe like with their hot wallet or whatever. But you're right. So right now, what would basically create this huge supply shock would be if retail came in right now and they were like, we want Ethereum, we want Solana, like the stuff that we know, the majors and stuff. That would cause a supply shock, which would then ignite alt season, basically. So retail, if you're listening, come on, we're waiting.
Yeah. Well, you did say something interesting that I didn't consider. Maybe a lot of people are taking their Ethereum off exchanges to take loans against it, using stuff like Aave and stuff like that, to where now you're. But why would you take a loan against your Ethereum? Would be to buy other assets without selling your Ethereum, right?
Yeah, but that's still kind of risky though, because like with Ethereum,
you're long in it for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you're betting that Ethereum's not going to pull back again, and I guarantee a lot of people thought that like 4 weeks ago, and all of a sudden they had to scramble and be like, oh my god, my loan position and stuff like that. So I think that one of the reasons why stables are really up right now in terms of like how much is on the sideline, but also I think that they're probably utilizing stable to loan against, because at least like they don't have to worry about getting liquidated, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what I imagine is happening with some of that.
You can't take a loan against stables because you're getting stables back.
No, you can take a loan against stables. Yeah, you can. You can put up stables to take out another token. Another token. You can do it. I've done it before. But like,
why would you do that?
Because, for example, like if you were to take out number one, volatility, right? So if Ethereum goes back and then you get liquidated because of the value, you don't have to worry about that with stables. Well, you do have to worry about.
Why not just buy the coin you want to buy? You have the stables.
Well, you have to, because it could go up too, though. It could go up and then
the stable coin goes up.
No, and you can also you earn small percentage, not the stable coin, the coin that you get. So you also earn too whenever you're when I believe whenever you add collateral, but on the loan side. So yeah, that's not. I don't think that's correct.
It's not. No,
but you 100% can put stables up to borrow. 100% you can. I've done it before.
Why not just buy the asset? It's the same thing.
because you don't want, because it's stable. You don't want to put your Ethereum up if there's a chance for it to dip hard and then you're getting liquidated. You have way more. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
What you do have to worry about.
have stables.
Listen to what I'm saying though, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Is that if you put your stable coin up, right, and you take out a token that has a chance to go up aggressively, right, or it has a chance to bounce back, then you can you can put it up collateral for that. I've seen it done on Mimas. I think
Yeah, I know, but
a
for
stable
me,
coin.
it would just make more sense for me to just buy that token and then sell it without using any type of fee, or you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Why not just use the stables to buy the token and then sell that token for the stables again when it
I
goes
see
up?
what you're
Like,
saying. Maybe
it's
I got
called
it
swap.
wrong. Maybe I got it
Yeah,
wrong.
I don't see it that way. But you did say something else. You said USDC supply hits an all-time high at 56 billion. We've never seen more USDC ever. Like, this is the highest ever been. So there's two things that could be happening. People are leaving USDT and coming to USDC because of the European laws and stuff like that, or it's just new money coming in. And if it's US money coming in, which it probably is, it could just be new people entering the market, sitting in stables, waiting for momentum.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy that there's so much stables on the sideline, and that's one of the indicators that we use to let people know that they're waiting for the green light basically for alt season to start.
Yeah, 100%. I'm thinking the same thing. I think this is going to be insane. I think we're going to see more money come in alts than we ever thought. And this is the first time in history where people are not scared to potentially buy utility tokens. It's not first time that people aren't really worried about an SEC lawsuit coming for the first time in like 3 years, right? So if you take away that narrative of if you buying Polkadot, for instance, and then but Polkadot getting sued, you're immediately going to lose value, and you're probably going to you could lose value for 2 years. Because we saw what happened with XRP, right? So people aren't afraid of that anymore. So I just think that this alt season is going to be the biggest one we've ever seen.
I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of expectation for it. And the one thing I will say though is that like a lot of people probably just readjusting their expectations the past couple
Yeah.
months. So that's a good thing for the people that have been here for a while, because the expectation was huge, right? For people that are in the space every day in and day out. And now it could be readjusted and say, okay, so if you get more, it's kind of like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
still expecting like a good rise up, but probably readjusted that expectation a bit. That's what I've done at least.
Yeah, 100%. Coinbase lists Sol meme coins, Pengu, which is really good for abstract, and Popcat, which is really good for the meme. So can this be the pop that the meme coins need to kind of move forward? Because they've been just beaten down. I've never seen an asset class get beaten down harder than the memes have the last 2 weekends. Maybe AI as well, but like for someone that's actually been around for a while, I've never seen meme coins get hit this hard as they have been in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, that's why right now it's like with these new chains launching, I'm okay getting into what I think is going to be like the leading meme, because it like the chain kind of attaches to that. But
Yeah.
like I'm very hesitant to get into like the next like community cult meme on Solana, because there's just like 20 of them, right? And so you're starting to see stuff like what happened to Chill Guy. He's just a chill guy. Like that completely fell apart, right?
Yeah.
And Popcat lost a lot of steam as well, but they decided to list them. I'm not sure why. Pingu, I get why they listed Pingu, because of Pudgy Penguins, and also they have abstract chain, so they bridged that over as well. So, but the Popcat ones kind of got me scratching my head. Why would they add that to their listings?
Yeah. The only thing that got me is maybe like it was already in process 2-3 weeks ago, and maybe it just takes Coinbase a little time to get everything going. And I just don't or they're just buying it cheap and selling it to retail. I don't know what Coinbase is doing here, but I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been in the process too of listing, and then it just finalized that last step, even though it pulled back.
100%. Telegraph had this post. It says, the SEC has acknowledged an amendment to allow redemptions on iShares Bitcoin ETF. If approved, this would allow investors to redeem their shares for actual Bitcoin instead of cash. To me, this is super bullish for many reasons, but the main reason is now people can buy the ETF and they're actually buying real Bitcoin because you can withdraw that Bitcoin at any moment using the service through BlackRock. What do you think about this? And do you think maybe I'm overly bullish on this, or do you think retail even cares?
Acknowledge amendment to allow redemptions on iShares. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. I guess they would be able to take Bitcoin out of circulation, which then would force BlackRock to, make sure that they are rebalanced with what they hold, as collateral for their ETF. I just don't know how many people in that investing communities, type of investor would do this, right? Because they're already kind of trusting BlackRock as like to be the custodial service for them. They don't even actually think about it that way because it's an ETF,
Yeah.
So, but it's cool that it's an option.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I 100% agree. Like, the fact that it is an option for the maxis can't say no more, right? And this is really just talk, right? Because the maxis will say, "Why are you buying the ETF? It's not real Bitcoin. It's paper Bitcoin." Now it's actually real Bitcoin that you could withdraw. Every let's just say every share is $25, and so you equivalent that to being 0.0025 a share, and then you can with or 0.0025 a share, and now you can withdraw that at any moment. I don't know. I just think that kind of gives that stamp of this is actual Bitcoin, because you can't do that with gold. I can't go to BlackRock and say, "Hey, I have this certificate saying I owned the ETF for gold and I want to withdraw my gold." They're going to say, "Get out of here." But with Bitcoin, they can do this. They can kind of let you withdraw your Bitcoin.
Yeah. I think it's a cool option, right? Because it might become more and more popular down the road, but it's cool that they're actually offering it. I never would think that BlackRock would even offer this actually. So
Yeah.
kudos to them to do this.
Well, this would all be Coinbase, because Coinbase is their custodian, right? So basically, all you're doing is you'd probably just Coinbase would just ask what your account is. It would have you confirm your Coinbase account, and then they would just send you the Bitcoin, right? Or just press some numbers on the computer and your Bitcoin shows up because it's still in their custody, right? It's all it is going from one custody to the other. I mean, it's not really moving technically. It's just going from you're selling your ETF, but you're getting Bitcoin through Coinbase.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now I remember about the stablecoin situation on the lending thing. It was to short, because I knew I used stablecoins.
Shorting,
yeah. Because you basically, if you think a token's going to go down, you put that token up for collateral, get the stable token, and then once that goes down in value, then you just pay back what the balance is, right? So
yeah. That makes it. Well,
no,
you still wouldn't give them your
opposite.
stablecoin. You would borrow the asset and then sell the asset right away, and then pay that asset back then buy the asset back and then give it back to them. That would be like manually shorting.
Yeah.
But
So we used it over on Chronos for.
all right. All right, this is awesome. This is a tweet from Mario, and I think other people tweeted it as well. But White House, the largest tax cut in history for middle class Americans, is about to happen. Trump actually ran on this, right? It was let me kind of jump through it. So basically, no tax on tips, no tax on seniors' Social Security, no tax on overtime pay, adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all special tax breaks for billionaires, sport team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole, tax cuts made for in American products, and there's a bunch more too. But this is the main one. Could you imagine? Like, that's just something that you've been saying for a while. We need some type of stimulus, right? But the stimulus was a one-time check of $1,200, and then it was done. But imagine every American getting, let's just say, between $200 and $250 every single week of extra money that a couple weeks ago they didn't have. So a lot of that money could go into things like, investing or gambling or whatever the hell we do here, right? So
In between.
in between, right? But a lot of that money now every single week. And this is something I did for about 4 years. Every single week, I would work overtime, and whatever I made in overtime, I would move to my Cash App account, and then that Cash App would immediately buy Bitcoin. And I would do that. So my check would go, it was like this much go into my bank account, this much go into my Cash App, because Cash App allows you to direct deposit. And as soon as I got direct deposit to my Cash App, I would buy Bitcoin with it. I did this for 4 years. And then I could send that Bitcoin off to buy altcoins or whatever I wanted to do. It was my own ramp. And I can see people doing this now because they're going to see it as extra money, especially the DoorDash workers and stuff like that, where a majority of their money is now tax-free because they mainly work on tips.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is a big deal. I don't know how much this is going to, circulate into our sector. I would love if they just got rid of the federal income tax altogether, because I think we would definitely see an effect from that pretty quickly. But I'm happy for the people that are getting these tax cuts, because a lot of those people mentioned in that breakdown, they work hard and kind of deserve it, right? So we'll see if they add more. And I think everybody would love for the federal income tax to get abolished, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, my overtime, I'd work 10 hours overtime every week. My overtime was around about $450 before taxes. After taxes, it got pushed down to about 280, 275. That's an extra potentially, because it's like 47% tax on overtime right now. It's something insane, right? So, but potentially, getting in, that's an extra $200 for people who work 10 hours of overtime, right? And if you're making, like $80,000 a year, but still, it's like it could be that's huge for a lot of people. And someone like me getting an extra 200, I'm immediately putting in crypto, especially back then when I wasn't really into like being a YouTuber and stuff like that. So
Yeah. This is going to be big for those people. And like I said, if we'll see if it actually does affect our sector or industry. Probably going to see a little bit, right? Because a lot of times those blue collar workers or industry kind of service industry workers are the ones that want to invest in something that they feel like they're early to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we could see that trickle in.
100%. And you got, I know for a fact, in the beginning, they're going to buy TVs and purses and shoes, right? Because if you're going to feel like extra money, but down the line, it's going to keep coming in. And that's when potentially, I want to invest this. I want to get out of this job. I want to get out of this rat hole. And maybe they start learning about financial freedom and FIRE, and all that stuff. And they potentially come into crypto. And that's what got me, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's a lot of people out there like me, but we'll see. BlackRock boosted stake in MSTR to 5%, now holding 11.2 million shares, up from 4.09 in September. So BlackRock, obviously they have their ETF. So my question for you would be, why isn't BlackRock buying their ETF instead of buying a company that holds Bitcoin? I don't get why they wouldn't just put this 1% that they're putting in the MSTR actually into their ETF instead.
But they have put a lot into their ETF as well, right?
Not as much as they put in MicroStrategy. They're putting more into MicroStrategy than they're buying the ETF.
Well, I mean, maybe they still favored TradFi a bit, right? And then they also probably see like that there's like this big, I don't want to say bubble, but like just thrust up of MicroStrategy and just MicroStrategy just really doubling down on Bitcoin and looking at them as like because there's going to be a transition of liquidity flow, right? It's not going to take, or it's going to take a while for like TradFi people's money to kind of flow into this like middle area of where like stocks eventually get digitized and all these things, right? And so I think that it's smart for them to invest in MicroStrategy right now. And whenever they, MicroStrategy, they feel like MicroStrategy is getting to this level of like, wow, it's like really crazily high. It's probably where they will transition some of that directly into Bitcoin or some of their other projects and stuff that they back, like Ondo and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Ondo chain yesterday, I hate it, but it is what it is, right? BlackRock now has their own chain. Pretty crazy.
And I mean, that chain's going to make tons of fees, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If they have all the stocks that are, digitized on there, I think Ondo could be like a hundreds of $billion worth of blockchain currency, whatever you want to call it, company, eventually. But some people don't like it because it is the principles of TradFi a bit that they're gonna bring over, I think. But that at the end of the day, that was the end goal, not for us necessarily, but like
Yeah.
for that was going to happen anyways. It was
Yeah.
inevitable, I think, right? So
Yeah. And so Ondo is on Ethereum. Is it an Ethereum L2 or is it just a fork? That's one question that
I'm not
I
sure. I got to look
yeah.
further into it, but yeah.
Yeah, man. Because to me, it's probably going to be a fork, L2, kind of like what Sony did with Coinbase did. Because you got to remember, Coinbase is really helping BlackRock, not just custodian, but they're actually giving advice and stuff like that for it. So I can actually see them doing very similar to what Coinbase did, but we'll see. So Riot Platforms or Riot Miners generated 527 Bitcoin in January, its highest monthly output since December 2023. These miners are killing it right now. They are making so much. Obviously, you got to win the blocks, right? So you have to get lucky enough to win the blocks. But some of these miners right now are racking in dough as Bitcoin is over $100,000 or a little lower. So, these miners, they're killing it. Like, if anyone feels bad for the miners right now, you're probably feeling bad for like the smaller guys, but not the big ones.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not the big ones, but why would you ever feel bad for the big ones? The big ones have enough capital to like get through the hardest times, right? So the smaller miners and medium-sized miners, those are the ones that are like struggling the most because they don't have the runway to really kind of get through tough times. But
Yeah.
these bigger companies definitely do because they know that the good times will outweigh the bad times, right? The smaller medium-sized ones it's different if you're like a part of a pool and you just have like a single miner, you get lucky. That's like a lotto hit, right? The other day someone hit a block and won 3 Bitcoin, I think, right? But that doesn't happen often, right? So look, these are going to be like conglomerate type of huge corporations in the future. They are already. And I guarantee you that like the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, all these like that have their kind of portfolios are gonna pour into these kind of companies.
Yeah, 100%. But the part that got me here was highest monthly output since December of 2023. Do you remember December of 2023 and how much money we were feeding them in fees? I mean, we at one point we were higher than it was more Bitcoin in fees than it was for the block reward in December of 2023.
Yeah, but also what correlates with high hash rate, right? Output is price eventually. And so, in 2023 December, that was like very, very true.
40,000.
So let's hope that this kind of continues, that correlation to see if it continues because they always show the chart. Once the hash rate goes crazy, price typically follows not too far behind it.
Now imagine if Riot took 27 of those Bitcoin and put them into the Bitcoin ecosystem to create something here, right? The Bitcoin Ordinals. Imagine they use those 27 Bitcoin to try to generate fees on doing something, right? Here in the Ordinal ecosystem, to where maybe they build a project or they build whatever. They use this 27 Bitcoin for funding of something that generates fees in the future. They're not thinking this way. And I feel like they have to wake up soon because they have to think about fees in the future. And they could use a portion of their earnings from last month and kind of really build something special here that generates fees forever.
Yeah, I think people are starting to think a little bit about this. We had a little conversation about this yesterday during Arch Thursdays. And I see where you're coming from with this. I think the Bitcoin ecosystem builders and people that spend their time, like the people that cover it and stuff, I think like I don't want to say deserve because that sounds entitled, but like, I just, the supporting it would be great. I mean, meaning like standing, like, saying something that stands up for the builders over here that can help them generate fees, or if they create something, we could be a part of it and help them, on the show. If there was a miner that decided to build in our space, we would definitely cover it. That kind of like cohesive relationship. And it's different because the miner's mentality is very like black and white in terms of balance on their sheets, their books, right? So that's all they care about, right? So At the end of the day, I think like they don't sit there in a room kind of, oh, how can ordinals help us? There are a couple though that do. We know some, but like from an industry wide standpoint or perspective, I don't think they think that way. They just kind of like, my energy output is this. This is how much Bitcoin we're getting. This is how much our revenue is, or our profit is, and okay, we're good. Especially if they're in a good spot. Like they generated,
Yeah.
right? It generated 527 Bitcoin. That's huge. So.
Yeah. But I think you have to look down a road, like Amazon, for instance. They didn't just stop with their what they have, right, with Amazon, with delivery service. They looked into more ways to generate money, and that was AWS and everything else that they built around Amazon. Why aren't these miners thinking outside the box on ways to create more revenue and then using something they already know, which is the Bitcoin ecosystem, and something they can leverage to create more fees, which would create more revenue for them every Bitcoin block that they win?
Because you got to have a very special person that is kind of in charge of the whole,
Yeah.
institution or operation. Jeff Bezos is the reason why Amazon is what it is. I mean, if you go back to see how he was when he first started and how the evolution, and a lot of people don't like that type of personality that work for someone like that. People say the same thing about Elon Musk, right? He's a hard boss and he's not good to work, but they know how to build like an empire. And someone in the mining industry needs to kind of have that mentality, because as of right now, it's like this is a business model that's pretty straightforward from the jump, from the beginning. Like when Satoshi created Bitcoin, is like, the miners secure the blockchain. They, basically this is what they do, and they make Bitcoin for that monetary value. And it's been a simple concept ever since. And so, someone needs to kind of be creative in that industry, and step forward and have like a one of these big companies, whether it's Riot or Mara or somebody, to kind of be that innovator. You know what I mean? That takes that next step. And I don't know if we have that in that industry.
So you're saying these guys are just not real?
They're just straight like numbers people. Straight numbers people. Oh, we need to upgrade our software. Okay, those kind of things. It's very analytical, very, and we've heard that firsthand from Charlie Spears, because he worked in the mining industry forever, and I think he runs a small mining operation right now. But like, this is just how their mindset is. It's kind of like developers in our space. Like they're not the most social, right? They're just very analytical, and that's why someone has like an amazing project, but no one knows about it.
Gotcha. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, Tap, for instance, amazing technology. No one uses it. But yeah, I got what you're saying. So this is something I wasn't very happy about reading, but it's news. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse reportedly appointed as part of the U.S. Crypto Council. He'll be potentially working with David Sachs and that team, but no government source has confirmed this. This is just what I've seen off. Crypto posted it. A couple other people posted it, but there hasn't been any government source, anyone connected to David Sachs or the Trump administration came out and said this. I'm really hoping that it's bullshit and it's lies, because I hate Ripple and I hate Brad Garlinghouse.
Well, I'm afraid to say that. Like, it's probably not lies. As much as Bitcoiners and certain group of percentage of the space hates XRP and Brad Garlinghouse and that whole team, they're here to stay. They're not going to just disappear tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think we got to accept the fact that they're here. We don't have to accept the fact that like we don't like that we don't have to like them, right? But they're not going anywhere. And because of that, they have influence, whether that's through money or whatever. They're probably going to have some part of America's place in crypto.
Unfortunately. But let's get into the Bitcoin fear and greed here. Last week was a 76. Yesterday was a 49. And it's not looking good. It's
not looking
lower
good
than
from
yesterday.
A 49. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's lower than yesterday, but not as low as you would think.
42.
Close. 44. So it's right. It's it's still in the yellow here. With Bitcoin hitting over 100K today, I'm thinking later today we're going to see it back between 60. Right? Would that be fair? You think getting up like back to 60 tonight?
I mean,
am I asking for too much?
Probably. It's not like we're running super hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're asking for too much. Maybe like back to like 46 or something, or 48. But not, yeah, I don't expect like a 10-point jump off of what I've seen today.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by BitPerp. BitPerp's going to be the leading leverage trading platform in the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. We actually have a meeting with them later today. We're going to be going over the site. We're going to be giving them, our opinion on what it looks like. So they are getting really close, guys. I mean, they're at the point now where they're kind of looking for testers and stuff like that. And then eventually, probably soon, probably within the next couple of weeks, they're going to put it out there for you guys to try it as well. They have a big announcement coming as well. They want to enrich their community, guys. They want you guys to use their site. They want you guys to paper trade, so you're not using any of your own money and potentially earn their coin or a reward in the future. I'm not really sure what that's going to be, but these guys want to do big things here, guys, and they're going to be on the Spider Chain for testnet and potentially on a big layer 2 after that. So that's going to be really exciting. Think big, guys, with this. These guys want to be, potentially hyper liquid type of big, and I feel like getting their coin for free from testnet trading is easy and fun and exciting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, some big news coming out from them. Just stay tuned to their X account and turn your notifications on, and you will definitely get the news first from them. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, on the YouTube side, please smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And then on the X account, smash that like for us and share this space so we can educate and onboard as many people as possible. We're gonna have Jake from Emblem Vault on here in about I would say about 45 minutes. So maybe 20 minutes. No, 45 minutes. And on the abstract side, if you could share that stream as well, that we would greatly appreciate that. But let's jump into some Bitcoin price action here, which honestly looked pretty good earlier when we were, touching 100K. But I wasn't buying it. Like Shizzy told me pre-show, Bitcoin's back to 100K and all this stuff. And I said, I need to see like an aggressive like push up to really buy into, the price action, because to me it's just kind of the pendulum swinging back and forth. So let's take a look here on the hour chart. You can see up here, we drove all the way to that $100,000 mark and really hit a wall there, and starting to come back down. You can see the stochastics looks like we passed the 80-point mark, so we are heading to the oversold territory. The MACD looks like it's weakening as well, so I wouldn't be shocked if we get back kind of where we were to that 96.5, 97,000. Unless we have some good news that comes up today heading into the weekend. But I think it will swing back and forth. So like we might go to 96.5 and then end the day, maybe back to 97, 98. Saturday's probably going to be a trader's day to scalp again, unless there's some big news with Bitcoin. And then Sunday, typically there'll be like a big move in the evening. So, the last couple of weekends, the big move has been bad. So hopefully maybe we can turn that energy around. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for the second half of today. It's probably some more, downpour with the price, 96.5, 97. Don't listen to me though. Do your own, research and I'm just using these kind of high level leading indicators here to kind of get a feel of what the price action looks like. Let's see if I can see if there is any type of support here at these price points that we're at right now. So this data is going from yesterday at 2 a.m. Just kind of squeeze that in here. Okay, so yesterday at 2 p.m. I'm more happy with that. Okay, so you can see here at the 98, 173 resistance has the ball right now pretty much with these two levels right here. So 98, 115 and that 98, just 98,000 in general. Yeah, until we get to 97.8, support kind of picks up. And at that 98.3, it's kind of even there. So if we can get, have a jump up, get past this, is going to be a little difficult though. And then we'll be okay up here. And then, yeah, it just doesn't look good, guys. Even above that level at 98.5, resistance is definitely over powering the support over there as well. So yeah, so kind of seeing that second half of today pulling back down. The 4-hour chart actually looks like it got pretty decent, from that push up, the energy today, but I don't think this lasts because I think the hour chart is going to pull back down. So this will probably weaken here. And then, we just crossed the overbought territory on the stochastic RSI, getting to like that 90-point range. But, if the hour chart kind of dumps back down to 96.5, then this is going to weaken here and probably see further down. I don't know. This could change if the hour chart, like I said, if we get some good news or something pulls in for the hour chart in the second half of today does turn around. If that happens, then we could sustain some of this positive, price action on the 4-hour chart. But I just don't see it, guys. That's my opinion. Sunday evening, hopefully we get kind of a turnaround of sentiment for Bitcoin's price action to end the weekend.
Yeah, man, great job, dude. As always, let's kind of get into the roll call here. There it is. Boom. Let's see. First is first. Oh, it's my guy Yasher. Congratulations, bro. First time in a long time. But you have 5 now, bro. Let me actually bring that up. Yeah, you have 5 now. You officially. So you haven't had one. You haven't had a win here in a long time. It looks like 3. And where's your 4th? There it is. Nope. I thought you had. I could be wrong. So you had 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's your 4th. Oh, nah. The 9th of January, almost a month ago, is your last win. But you, sir, have won today. Congratulations to you. Danny Boy had a 3-peat going on, but Yasher came in with the dub. Congratulations, Yasher. I think Yasher is just behind Webdro. And yeah, I think that's it. I think it's Yasher and Webdro the top 2, and then a bunch of people have the 3s here. So, absolutely amazing, guys. If you guys don't know what this is, or if you're new here, we're just keeping track of first is first. The first comment that we see, sometimes YouTube deletes them, so we can't count those ones. But if you can make it to the show as number 1, like Yasher did, you'll get on the chart here. And we're going to do this all year. And at the end of the year, we're going to give whoever has the most wins, we're going to give a nice prize to. It's going to be something significant. It's going to be fun. So, but this is all fun. It's all fun. Kind of little thing we do with the community here. But let's jump into the tweets here. Number 2 was Ordinal's tweets. He says, "I'm ready to go to the moon." Yeah, pack your bags, bro. I think we're going.
We all
ASAP Benji is here. He said, Yasher made it. Yes. Congratulations, Yasher. Mempool Punk is here. Glass Hopper. Bags have been packed so long, they're growing mold. Ugh. Yeah, I can see how that happens. Stevie J is here. Cheaty is here. What's up, guys? What's up, Cheaty? Bitmap Core is here. Shout out to Bitmap Core. Chief Axel is here. Let's go. And then we have Mice Elf. Shout out to myself. I'm hoping for a blow off top at the end of the year. That'll give me a more accumulation time with these cheap prices. Yeah, 100%. A blow off top at the end of the year. I even think it could go into next January, honestly, or maybe even February, but we'll see. Pelpa is here. Patty Poo, the Bitcoin machine himself. Shout out to Patty Poo. Ricky, BTC round trip. They did round trip this morning, but thank you so much for being here. I think it's your first time making roll call. Thank you so much, Ricky. Juan Bankman, he said, Yago be tripping. And then we have Anthony Paldino. He said, dog go to the moon seems like the best meme coin around. What do you think? Best meme coin around? Dog go to the moon?
I mean, it's got a strong community, a strong kind of initiative behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about like the Bitcoin meme coin stuff. Obviously, I think highly that it's on Bitcoin. And there's this like huge saturation process happening right now on Solana with meme coins. So I think people might appreciate Bitcoin meme coins more because of what we're going through right now. But that's yet to be seen. The one thing that I have seen is these startup companies or like centralized type of companies onboarding stuff like Slingshot and stuff. They all want to be a part of this, right? And so I do think that like the meme community behind Dog Go to the Moon is damn strong. Let's see if the entire ecosystem can rise up together. We'll see.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you have a coin has 100,000 holders, and this was airdropped and stuff like that, but you had to get a runestone. It wasn't like your normal just spray everyone with this meme coin and fake holder count. This is actually a real holder count because everyone who held this had a runestone in the beginning, and then people were just trading it. But we've seen it go from 60,000 in April to 100,000. So, of course, the entire last year, it's been just growing every single month. So you can't deny any coin that goes from 60,000 holders to 100,000 holders in a couple months. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Kenta says, if Litecoin and Doge get an ETF and Bells doesn't, do you still see a bullish catalyst left? So Bells won't get an ETF.
They don't
right? But
deserve
it
one
could,
right now.
exactly. But who knows? It will allow them potentially maybe next cycle if they can show that they're resilient. I mean, these guys aren't going to give something newer. I mean, you could say Bells is one of the oldest coins, yeah, but it was just resurrected. I want to say a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
But if it withstands and the holder count builds, and I'd be more happy if Binance listed it because they're mining it than if I would have an ETF, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, well, I'm starting to care less and less about Binance and
Yeah.
centralized exchange listings. It's going to be more about like the community. Does the community push forward even through the hardest times? Because you got to remember, Doge actually was also resurrected as well. Like it was dying off big time. Like the developers like stopped building on it and it resurrected. And so that's where Bells kind of has a similarity with Doge. Obviously, it's related to Doge all through history because of the founder of Doge actually launched Bells before that. But it's going to be getting through right now, because I'm telling you right now is the hardest time for someone that's holding Bell's bags, including myself, to see that price. But because we know Adam, we know the community behind it, like we believe that there is a future for Bells, or at least I do, and so we'll see though. It's a test. It's going to be right now they're going through the hardest test I think that they'll probably ever have to go through.
Yeah, and probably one of the biggest overall, updates with OpCat coming.
Yeah.
Right. So I think this is huge for Bells. They get pushed back a little bit. They're still working through a few bugs, but when OpCat gets put on there, I mean, it's going to be a testing ground for what we're doing here, right? If UDI is successful anyway, but if not, potentially you might see people start building over there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, regardless, like having OpCat there and the Nintendo wallet builders, they're like almost kind of like core devs, it seems like, over there, and they're motivated to build something that's going to be cool. So that's what keeps me motivated. Like the fact that they're upgrading to OpNet throughout these hardest times right now makes me bullish. It's like they didn't take a step back. They didn't just like, ignore it. Oh, whenever times get better, we'll upgrade it then or whatever. They're still marching forward. And so that's what makes me feel bullish still on them.
100%. And Nintendo, they're one of the biggest Bells miners. And that's one thing that's really cool is like they're doing what I want Bitcoin miners to do, and that's build. They were like, we want the chain to be successful. We want to get more rewards, so let's build here. And they were, they want the price to go up, so they're building an ecosystem using. They were wow. They got a marketplace. They did the scan. I mean, that's huge. That's exactly what you want from people that are mining this coin. So,
yeah.
Kenta says I'm bullish on the Bells, but this market got me wrecked. Yeah, the market's tough, but I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be worried, especially about proof of work coins. I think proof of work coins have a nice maybe a couple weeks or a month where they just absolutely rip. When that is, I don't know, but I got a feeling it's going to be a narrative. But it's going to be pushed for a little while.
Yeah, agreed.
Anthony Paldino says it's a great vehicle for Wall Street to access Bitcoin. He's talking about the ETF, and he's talking about potentially
being able to withdraw.
Yeah, being able to withdraw the Bitcoin. But they probably won't, but it's just a little bit more of an edge to people who would say, well, just buy it on Coinbase. It's like, well, I don't want to
and there's going to be that one guy that's like, people are gonna be like, "Do you actually take your Bitcoin out?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to self-custody my Bitcoin." And then they're like education opportunity right there, right? I'm not gonna say that that's gonna happen for all of them, because there's gonna be some old grandpas that are like, I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's fine for them because they've trusted BlackRock to, be their custodian of just, their stocks and all that stuff too. So
100%. The strategist said, "Good morning, legends. Good morning, man. I think it's your first time making roll call too. Thank you so much for being here today." No is here. Shout out to No GM to all. We got Matt's. He's a Nat to miners. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so Nats. And so I'm trying to find if anybody has information on the bitmaps now being given to miners, because I did see one of our community members came. I forget who it was. I think it was Nighthawk. He was saying that the bitmaps are now going to miners, but I didn't see any documents on that, and I would love to see something like that so we can talk about it. So somebody that knows anything about the NAT going to the miners or the bitmaps, please send that to me at Shizzy Sats or at Ordinal Revolution.
He's getting bullish on bitmaps, guys.
Well, I need a reason to, right? Give me a reason to. That's all I'm asking. KM says GM gents. A shout out to you, man. I think it's your first time making roll call here too. Thank you so much. Meme Tickx says
no. Memetics.
Memetics. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I have a question for Jake. Yeah, pop it in. We'll start it. We'll make sure Jake gets your question for sure. Courtney Johnson says peace. Shout out to Courtney Johnson. Danny Boy says yo. He said, is it too late for roll call? No, sir. Yeah, you're right on time.
No,
Thank
he
you so much
said,
for being
is
here.
this a
Yeah,
late roll
Danny.
call?
I guess
It
so.
is. It is.
Like,
it is a little bit, but we just
couple
sometimes we like to
minutes.
move things around a little bit to shake it up.
There was just so much I had in there today for the Bitcoin ecosystem news that a roll call did get pushed back a little bit. Crypto Knight says, lost my job. Ooh, couldn't continue to pay my membership. It's all good, man.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
just if you can find us on X, message me, which is at Yagobiverse at Yagobiverse. I want to talk to you about something, help you out a little bit.
Yeah, man. Oh, then we got the legend himself. We got Serge Satz in here, our guy. We met him in Nashville. Absolutely amazing guy. He does so much for the space behind the scenes that no one really talks about or knows about. Right? Like every one of our partners was like, "Oh, I had a conversation with this guy," and it ends up being Serge Satz. And I'm like, "Of course, everyone has a conversation with Serge Satz eventually."
Definitely doing big things in our space for sure. Appreciate you, Serge.
Yep. Shizzy, have you heard about Screams Official by HP Studios? It's an Ordinals. No, I haven't, man. But I think it's your first time making roll call here. Appreciate you and your own on-chain monkey is amazing. By the way,
do you remember Osprey? They were a part of the I think it was the Bugatti or that diamond thing.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. I forgot all about that. That's been so long. That was we had on-chain monkey. It was on-chain monkeys team.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Okay,
that's probably why Juan knows about it because he seems to be a community
100%.
member. But
yeah, I'd love to know more. I mean, it's been a long time since we talked to who did we talk to? The girl, right? The female?
Manda.
Yeah, we had Manda on the show.
Yeah.
And then Danny says, "Glad I made it." Matt says, "I'm heavy into Nat Bitmap, not so much whatever that means. Both don't need to win. I think they kind of roll together though. Nat and Bitmap seem very similar to each other.
They I mean, they definitely have some cross community, but then they have some parts of East community that hate each other probably because you know the one thing about the Bitcoin ecosystem, and I think it's getting a little bit better, is that like tribalism can be rampant here to where it's like, hate comes out of like situations sometimes, and I'm just like, damn, like you really hate this person because of this is why. So it's getting better though.
Yeah, 100%. I hope it gets even better. I feel like the hate is unneeded here. But let's kind of get into something really awesome. So Leo Callards has officially sold out in one of the most challenging markets. 100% agree. The Stones collection has successfully launched. So they took 4,000 of the 10,000 and they said it's going to be for airdrops and stuff like that. But it is trading now below mint price. So mint price was 0.0012 and it's trading at 0.009. But again, people were probably trying to get a rare one. And I haven't really looked at the traits yet and see which ones are rare ones and which ones not, because they all seem a little different. They all seem different, kind of similar, but not really. But they all seem, But what do you think? Dude, I can't believe he did it. I was out here the other day saying I don't think he sell 15%, but I think the fact that he kept 4,000 for airdrops really pushed the narrative for these to mint out. Really smart on his part.
Yeah. I think it was smart about are you thinking it's smart about the 40% being kind of taken out?
Well, it was smart because it gives you a reason to hold these things, right? Like
it gives you a reason too. And plus, if you don't look at it, and you don't know, you're like, oh my God, I need to get one real quick. You know what I mean? Like the bit is moving, but it's not really. But that's for the people that just try to go off of impulse. But yeah, I think it's smart. Obviously they had a pretty thorough plan of what they're going to do. So we shall see, man. We shall see. But congrats to Leo Collard for selling out his mint. I mean, it's cool. Every stone's different, but it reminds me of those little geology collectors kits. There's like all these little stones inside this box.
Yeah, I remember. I forget what grade it was. It had to be like 3rd or 4th grade, he gave us each one of these stones. We were looking under the microscope and seeing like they all had these like shiny little diamonds in them and stuff like that. And it was a cool thing. We're all passing around the stone, but the stones looked very similar to these ones here. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, but congratulations to Leo. Congratulations to the holders, man. Especially the people who are going to be able to get airdrops, or who knows what else comes from this. I mean, we're hearing rumors of something, but we don't know if it's going to go into effect or not. Any word on that?
On what?
On the next, has there
next
been
phase?
anything? Yeah, the next phase. Of
Yeah.
this.
I'm getting an update on Monday.
Okay. Cool. So this is pretty cool. So it's something Unisat did a while ago, and I actually went out and bought a Keystone wallet, and I have it right here. It's really cool. I like how sleek it is and stuff like that. And it does, it came with a little drawer thing too that you pop on the bottom of your desk to make it like another drawer. So I have it just sitting here. But you can now use Keystone Wallet to secure Bitcoin, Ordinals, runes, and other assets in Xverse. So I'm not sure how it's going to work on Xverse, but how it worked on Unisat was you have to basically create a new wallet, and when you do, you're going to set it to Keystone. So anytime you go to do anything on that wallet, send or send out, or I don't really receive, send out, then you have to hook up the wallet up the computer, put your word in, and then accept. You have to sign it on the wallet. So it is a way to keep your wallet hot, but at the same time lock it in. So you have to physically have that device or the words to kind of push your asset out of the wallet.
Yeah, I love this. It gives more credibility to Bitcoin Layer 1 assets that we've been a part of since 2023, right? And if you pay attention to the little subtle details of like updates with hot wallets, like Phantom, MetaMask is hiring Bitcoin developers. Magic Eden goes cross chain. All these things, right? What's another wallet that supported Bitcoin Layer 1 assets that's not native originally to? I know Phantom was one. There was another one I feel like that I'm missing, and then MetaMask is coming. But anyways, my whole point that I'm making is now there's these cold wallets or cold storage that's storing this. We need this because this establishes credibility for our asset class even more. And these are little details that I think people don't pay attention to because they're looking for market caps. They're looking for liquidity, TVL right away. And that's kind of the short-minded thing. But if you kind of zoom out and you kind of say, oh, what's happening in the background? This is one of those things. And another thing that I talk about all the time that's happening in the background is, the chain abstraction apps too. So those go in the same bucket because these big players, they don't need to scream this thing to, these updates at the mountaintop, but like you need to pay attention to these because this means that there's infrastructure behind the scenes that's happening that aren't like huge headlines, but they're much bigger than what they're given credit for in terms of news, in my opinion. I don't know, I could be wrong. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Like I completely agree. Completely agree there. Taparoo swap plus 15,000 rewards in tap for those who use Taparoo Inscriber. So let's take a look at that real quick. I thought I had Taparoo up. Oh, I do. It's purple. Yeah. So let's take a look at Taparoo. I think it's probably under. What do you think the Inscriber is? Do you think it's under market or do you think it's under swap?
No, I would think it would be under market.
Yeah, me too. So apparently people that use the Taparoo Inscriber actually get $15,000 rewards in tap. So it kind of there it is right there. Yeah, you're dead on. So I don't even know what it's
$15,000. What do you mean?
I mean, in rewards.
So
they're giving away $15,000
basically split up between like a certain amount of time.
Like
deadline.
So if you 100%. So if you create a token, mint a token, transfer a token, upload a file or use text, you basically get you're actually earning the tap token. And I actually might take advantage of this weekend. Honestly, I might, mint a token and then send it to you because I don't know anyone else who understands the tap stuff. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's actually, if somebody in our community, let us know if you create a token on tap to kind of get this reward, let us know. I'll retweet it and I'll mint some. So just let me know. It's kind of, I would love to get into a Tap meme coin, or for if you have a project and you want to launch your token through Tap. I mean, these guys are, they're building over here, so they deserve people using it. So what do you think about all this?
I think that this is a cool way to entice people to utilize the inscriber. I think that the biggest challenge is going to be minting out, number one.
Yeah.
Just because the demand is just not there yet. I mean, if this does well, maybe the demand increases. And then two, what happens after it mints out? Like, no one wants to trade on the marketplace like how we used to. So is there going to be enough liquidity providers to create an actual market, right? And that's the problem with Taproot swap, is that there's not enough liquidity there for people to really be trading tokens. You know what I'm saying? And that's been the issue with any type of swap with Bitcoin layer 1 assets, is getting the liquidity that's needed for there to be an exciting swap market, an exciting AMM. Now there has been some, like Dot Swap has gotten million to like 600,000, but I think like with Odin Swap, that's one of the goals that they're utilizing, is their network of liquidity providers to be able to swap Doggo to the Moon on Odin.fund with like a high liquidity pool and BTC. At the end of the day, like, I'm just happy that people are still doing that, though. You know what I mean? So, Taproot swap open to runes, or tap open to runes. So let's see if there's a rune swap that comes on the Tap protocol to see if they can also get some liquidity pools going.
100%. But you know why I wouldn't bring liquidity here?
Because people have bags?
No, it's because of APR. 0.5, 2.3, 1.4. Like, why the hell would I, basically give them my assets, right? Because that's what you're doing in a liquidity pool. You're wrapping them together. I don't know how this works, but I mean, this is the reason why they're not getting liquidity. Like, if you put that at, I don't know, 15%, and I don't even care, I'll earn a different token. Like, I'm not a guy who's like, I'm only doing that to kind of get the Bitcoin fee. That would be awesome. I would love to get the Bitcoin fee. But there is
actually,
no fees coming
if that was Bitcoin, you'd be okay with it. It's even low for Bitcoin. I'm just like, first of all, do Bitcoin, because I think everybody would like that. Well, that's the number one option, right? And then also make the percentage, at least you're not going to get 10-15% on Bitcoin. You're just not going to get it. But if you could get between 5 and 7, that would be amazing. I don't know what Odin offers right now, but dude,
just give me the Tap. I'll take the Taproot swap token.
But you would, but not everybody. And especially people that play.
I would 100%.
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you is that, like, everybody that plays on Bitcoin, they want Bitcoin. They don't want this substitute token.
So right now, I have a couple. I'm playing on Sonic, right? Sonic's chain, and I have some LP pools, and I'm earning the Shadow token, and the Shadow token just did a 4x, right? So
yeah, but that's a totally different. That's a totally different.
It's the same
ecosystem.
Thing.
No, it's a different ecosystem. Different users. You have different users, different mindset. But like,
we need to bring the users here.
Yeah, bring them here.
And what's one way to do it? Do what they're doing on other chains. Do it here, because that's going to bring users.
So I'm not in disagreement with you about the APR. I think the APR is really bad here in terms of earning. I'm more of like, I think most people want to earn Bitcoin, and that's why they're putting LP on Odin.fund right now, is because you earn Bitcoin, right? And so I don't know, the APRs here look crazy though. It says 166% for Odin Dog, but you also have to do half Odin Dog, half Bitcoin, and then you earn the Bitcoin fee. But
and so that just goes off of how much trades were happening, I think, yesterday. So the trades that happened yesterday, so that APR is going to change depending on the fee. Yeah. So tomorrow it could be 7% because there's no trades, right? So that's the only problem with that. But with APR with the Taproot swap token, right? I think that would be awesome, because I think this technology is phenomenal, right? I think the Taproot swap is phenomenal. I think it's here to stay. I wouldn't be worried about holding it, and it becomes a Bitcoin asset with utility. And there's not many here with, right? So obviously, the Tap token, maybe they're considering that, the Taproot swap token, because it's the same team. But I'd be okay with it. If Taproot swap token, if I was able to stake that token for governance, where I can decide who gets the highest APR, and that's what you do in Shadow. The people who have the highest amount of tokens kind of get to say, okay, I want this liquidity pair to have the most APR, right? If I can get that decision making, I would do it. I mean, that's DeFi. That's the reason why you
That's
would
wait.
hold that
So
token.
Sonic uses different
Shadow.
liquidity, or sorry, Shadow uses different liquidity pool options per token.
Yeah.
So it's like
so
it's like Saturn then.
no. So it's kind of works this way. So let's just say if you're holding the Shadow token, you get to vote on which pair gets the highest APR. You got me? So
Oh, okay.
let's just say they're giving away 8,000 tokens for this epoch, and it's all done in epochs. So Shadow gives about 8,000 tokens in epoch. So a percentage of you get to vote on where you want the majority of the share. So the Shadow holders get to pick which pool is going to get the highest amount of APR. So it
That's
benefits
weird
you.
though.
That's normal. It's normal DeFi.
So basically, it's like a governance to where they
Yeah.
get to decide like the token type, no matter how much LPs added or with the volume doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. The only thing that matters is you get to pick where you want it to be.
Hmm.
So let's just say I have a bunch of GIB, right? But I have a whole bunch of these Taproot tokens. I can vote where I want GIB to get the GIB Bitcoin to get the most APR, because you know what I mean? Because it benefits me.
That's based on the Taproot token amount you have though.
So that's to say there's 8,000 tokens. So if the more people that vote on it, let's just say 70% of the people vote on that, it'll get 70% of that.
Yeah. I'm just saying
whatever
that
that
they're
APR,
only looking
that'll
at your.
create the
They're only
APR.
looking at the DEX token amount that you have to give you how much your vote is weighted, right?
Each token's a vote. So let's just say, so in that way, you know what I mean? So if there's, I think there's 120,000 tokens in circulation of Shadow. So there's 120,000 votes. So if 70,000 people vote all together,
I got it.
you know what I mean?
They're just going based off of the Shadow holders. Yep, I got it.
Exactly. It's the X Shadow holders, because you have to stake it as well, where it's locked in. So just holding Shadow isn't, you actually have to physically stake it as well. But then you're earning APR on that as well. You're earning like 16% APR. So and then you get to vote, and then your say matters, and you get to it's a reason to hold the token, it's a reason to stake the token, and it's a reason to pick the pair that you want to pick, because you're supplying that potentially that liquidity pair, which will give you the most. So it's kind of a system in a system.
Google Me B says, sounds like manipulation. Shizzy, congrats. You get to pick where the 2% APR goes. I mean, that's kind of
manipulation.
This is how governance works. That's how governance works. Unfortunately, I mean, governance from an idea is kind of like socialism, to where it sounds great and it looks great on paper, but then, you can obviously have like manipulation and collusion with that, right? I mean, that's true, right?
Well, you have to give me a reason to hold your token.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, for example, let's say like these group of whales are like, hey, look, I'm gonna buy this many of this token, you buy this much of this token, or like to the group chat or whatever. Let's move the highest APR to this token or whatever. I mean, but that's not anything that people are gonna be able to control. You know what I mean? You can't control that part. They're still putting their money up for it.
Yeah, they're still staking their Shadow. They're putting money up. What it does too is the Shadow price goes up, because then they have to go on the market and buy it. And then, so at the end of the day, you just want the reward token to go up. And that's what kind of they could do this here. They could do that here, and I would participate. So just saying. But moving along here to our last thing before we get into Fluid Friday, Mariah. This has nothing to do with the Bitcoin ecosystem, but I just thought it was important to kind of give you guys a heads up. This is going to be the biggest AI coin, in my opinion, in the entire ecosystem, for many different reasons. But the main reason is she is going to be on Abstract, and she's going to be streaming on Abstract. So what does that mean? So on Abstract, you get rewarded. People can tip you. She's going to be using those tips to buy back and burn her token. So this is her right here. She says a single notification can change everything. See you next week. We can make a history together. So I highly recommend, and this is not financial advice whatsoever. It's something that I'm doing personally, but I highly recommend you getting on to the Abstract chain, get some ETH over there or whatever, because when she drops, you're going to want to hold her, because potentially whatever that supply is, that'll be the highest supply that ever. And then every single day after that, it's probably going to get lower and lower and lower. She's going to make potentially $1,000 a day in tips, because the holders are going to keep tipping.
Yeah. Is she a 24-hour stream, you think?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so here's the deal. there is like certain streams over there that are like 24 hours, and there's not many because they're trying to get rid of the ones that are just kind of spammy. But
Yeah.
some of the ones that just hang out there get constantly. There's one called like Doge. Stress relief or something where there's
Yeah.
like stress relieving music in the background and it's fun, like kind of like cool cartoon or whatever. That thing gets tipped constantly, like constantly, and it's not a person. And so I imagine that, yeah, you know, Mariah or whatever is going to get tipped a lot. But if there's a burning mechanism in that, like that's really cool. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't know the full details yet. We don't know if she's going to keep any of the rewards or whatever. But what I'm hearing is she's going to, the rewards that she gets, the tips that she gets in Pengu, Ethereum, and USD, she's going to use to buy back and burn the token. And let's just say she does a stream 3 hours a day, right? I mean, I'm going to go in there, and if I have any Pengu or whatever, I'm going to send it because what does that do? It's going to pump my bags, right? So, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I check this out, guys. Her name is it's at MIRAI_terminal, and check her out. So she's gonna be dropping the contract address, and if you're lucky enough to have, if you're smart enough to have Ethereum on Abstract Chain, like we've been preparing you guys for, if you guys are a member for that video as well, so you definitely want to check Mirai out. But that is it for the show. Time to get into our Friday special thing here. Today is Friday, and it is over 12 o'clock. But it is officially Fluid Friday, and Fluid is actually probably one of my favorite projects in the Bitcoin ecosystem because they are a Cardano builder, UTXO builder that has come over to Bitcoin, and so they have experience in that. And they weren't eligible, or they weren't able to build in 2022 over here. So in 2023, they were like, "Oh wow, we can use the same tech stack we're using and just do it on Bitcoin." And now they have become probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest builders here because they're not just building on layer one, they're also building on Arch. They're building a borrowing and lending on Arch where you're going to be able to one click borrow from a pool. They're doing a lot different than Liquidium's doing, but they weren't really able to do that on layer one because of
limitations.
We had OpCat over here, we would be able to, but since we can't, he's going to be building on Arch. But on layer one, he built a swap that Casey didn't know about, and it's phenomenal, but there's not a lot of people really using it because you do have to come back and you have to sign the transaction later, the people that are selling. So it's a little clunky, but again, that can be fixed on something Fluid.
Arch. I was going to ask you, would you say that like you know, Casey kind of proposing that and Fluid building that, you know, and he didn't know about it, but like the fact that like it isn't, the swap is kind of, in my opinion, is kind of the lower used product that they have. Maybe that, you know, approach doesn't really work on layer one in terms of like high volume, right?
Yeah.
And so Casey's kind of proposals kind of like, okay, we've tried that basically. And so that's why I think once they add that with Arch, it's going to be like firing left and right with AMM and stuff like that if they do decide to do that. But I agree, 100%. The staking product is amazing.
And real quick though, with Casey is I actually went back and read what he wrote. He was actually talking about ordinals, not runes.
It's the same. So it's the same function.
It's the same function, and Raul could actually do that. I'm sure he could do it with no problem. But let's just say you had a node monkey, you could put on there, trade for one, you know, one puppet, or whatever you want it to do, or two, or two puppets, or whatever, and then you could potentially go there and you can set it. But now with the new feature that Orda came out with now I can go to your node monkey and actually propose something, and you make an offer on it. That could actually work even better now for something like that. So it was exactly what Casey was talking about, just for the other asset that he built, right? Yeah. So, but Fluid built that what, June, July?
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty insane. And but yeah, so Fluid's biggest thing is their staking, right? And we can kind of get into that.
Yeah. But while you're pulling that up, I want to go over. There isn't a ton of updates that they have, but they definitely are. You know, have a couple. So if you are a builder and you're going to be in Hong Kong consensus, which is February 19th, reach out to Fluid. They're going to be there. They want to connect with, you know, builders in the Bitcoin ecosystem, see if there's any, you know, collab opportunities. They're just networking, right? So they're going to be there. Also, the dashboard staking rewards amount should be here maybe, if not early next week. And then remember, guys, because they came from Cardano, they have a direct line with Charles Hawkinson, and Charles is really amped up about allowing another example, allowing Cardano to be a servicing layer for Bitcoin layer 1 assets to do DeFi. And they're going to be working with Charles to basically present the product for that at Bitcoin 2025. So if you're in Vegas during that time period, probably go check that out. We definitely will be.
Yeah, 100%. And they're going to be in I think Japan, right?
No, Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. But yeah, so definitely check out Fluid. But I definitely want to show you guys something really cool. This is fluidtokens.com. And if you guys go hit the Cardano button, stop being maxis, right? But in the future, you're gonna be able to use Cardano using a feature that they created called Aquarium. So you can actually hook up your Xverse wallet to this in the future and just send Cardano to the Xverse to the Aquarium address that it's going to give you. So Aquarium is a service where you log into it and then you add all your Bitcoin wallets, and the Aquarium now has access to them, and they can use the Cardano that's in them to sign for those wallets. And it's actually really cool. And you're actually going to be able to put 30,000 FLDT tokens to become a validator and earn insane yield. So that's another huge aspect of this that no one's really talking about. But I kind of want to go into the lending to kind of show you guys what exactly they're building for Arch that they really can't build for layer 1. And if they could, they would. But you can't. But look at the interest and stuff like that. So 19% interest, 5% interest. So the interest is pretty high. But let's just say Spud Buds. If you wanted to borrow from there,
Space Buds.
Space Buds. What did I say?
Spud Buds.
But Space Buds, yeah. So let's just say Space Buds, or I don't see anything in there. What about Guardian Liquidators? Borrow.
Guardian Liquidators. Oh yeah, I love that one.
But yeah, so yeah, you could potentially, if there was offers, you can come in here and basically borrow. So yeah. Really cool.
It's gonna be a one-click type process on Arch, but they have a team dedicated for the Arch build out. So that's super exciting.
100%, man. I'm really excited for what they're building here. But let's hit the Bitcoin button. We have some features being pushed next week, and that is the feature to kind of see your stake. Let's just go to staking. Oh wow, they did. Look at this, dude.
Yes, love it.
Upgraded
love it.
I didn't even know they were doing this. This is crazy.
Well, he did say today, but I didn't want to say that in case it wasn't updated. But it is. Gotcha. So that's cool. So dude, you can see what you're gonna get or what?
Let me check. I think he said next week. So right now they moved it. It was over here. I do like it better over here though. Hit your stake, and I could see mine and rewards earned. So it should show up here next week, guys. So look, I have 20 fluid passes that you guys floored super cheap. Like I was getting them for like $20, and I thank you guys for that. But the rewards, I'm gonna see my reward next week, and you can see here my Omen, and I have one ordinal in there. I can actually unstake it to kind of show you guys how that works. Grab this. I actually forgot about the Omen. Probably like a month.
And by the way, this is all Bitcoin layer 1, guys. So that's why I always call them the UTXO wizard devs, because they know all the opcodes. They know how they work inside and out. They are the team to develop, with the limitations that Bitcoin currently has. Obviously, there's not really any computation you can do on layer 1. There are some limited logic kind of commands through Bitcoin script, and that's what they're utilizing based off of to create this staking product.
Yeah, I need a few dollars in Bitcoin, and in this wallet that I have it in there, I don't have any Bitcoin, so that's why I can't claim it right now. But I'm gonna get that loaded up so I can get my Omen out of there. Yeah, well, I have $22. It should work. Let me check again. Claim.
I mean, the fee might be a little bit higher than that.
It might have already went through the first time. Yeah, it's only cost me 35 cents. There it goes. All right, cool. Okay. So if it don't work first time, try it again, guys. But yeah, I've officially got my Omen out of there, my Omen Ordinal, and they're going to have a lot more vaults coming. Potentially the dog vault. This is the old one. They're potentially going to have a new one as well, and stuff like that. So definitely want to check out everything here at fluidtokens.com. Do you have anything else with this?
No. I think that's good. We'll give you guys an update on the updated UI next week. That's going to show what your expected rewards is going to be. And by the way, whenever Shizzy did unstake that, it actually gives him back the original assets that he staked and the reward in one transaction. So, and to give you guys a little bit of insight, the way that this works and makes it non-custodial for Fluid, because they don't have custody of your assets, is once you agree and sign on your side, you're agreeing to put your asset that you're staking into, every Bitcoin wallet has thousands of Bitcoin addresses, and there's one that's selected for this kind of staking, right? So what it does is you're signing to agree to put that asset into that address, and it's an address under your main account. And once you reach that certain block on Bitcoin's blockchain to release it, that's when you can unstake it. So it kind of sets the that block kind of lock technology, if you will. And once that date or that block arrives, you can unstake it, and the reward is also in there, and then it goes into your main account there. Really exciting stuff, man.
It's really cool technology that no one really uses. You know what? Like, imagine being super early to Bitcoin. You get like 1,000 Bitcoin or whatever, like super cheap. And then what you did was you locked 10 up for a year. You locked 9 up for 2 years, 8 up for, and then potentially, dude, every year you're just unlocking your Bitcoin. And then you're very happy because, over a course of 10 years, for instance, Bitcoin has flew up in price. So I would actually, if someone actually did that and used that technology back then, because that technology has always been around since the very early days, you could have always locked up your Bitcoin. But that's something I might do. I might Shizzy proof my Bitcoin in the future to where it's locked in there.
Savings account.
You cannot touch it.
Well, I think a lot of teams don't utilize this because it's probably extremely tedious for the developer side, setting that up and then being able to distribute to like every address and stuff, because it's not smart contract, right? So smart contracts automated. It's very like, if this happens, then this and this and this. I think you get like maybe like, very minimal kind of logic type of steps with Bitcoin script. So.
Yeah, 100%. So, and it was funny yesterday. We were in a space, and that guy yesterday was super annoying. I don't know, but anyway, he was saying how it's just funny how people don't really know about the space, and he was a very Solana guy. You could tell he was very much on Solana guy, and was over here a little bit, but he just really didn't understand. He didn't really know how much has been created over the last year, right? Which was, and it was pretty wild to see that like people really don't pay attention to what's going on here, and once they do, it really opens up their eyes.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I think it's kind of unfair because like you're talking from our perspective. Our job is literally to find new shit in our space.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like so you can't compare someone that's like kind of in the space consistently, but like in and out, versus someone that's every day we're looking for stuff like so and we have the we're blessed to be able to partner with some of these amazing projects, right? And so that I think that's the way to look at it. Probably
one thing though, I look at it: be obsessed or be average. You can be obsessed or you can be average, and I choose to be obsessed. So I don't know. But all right, guys, it's just about 12:30 on a Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for the Emblem Hour. Today we're lucky enough to have the amazing Jake Allen. Let's pop him up here. What's up, Jake? Welcome back.
Yo, what's good, guys? Dude,
what up?
I hadn't realized how much work you guys put into stuff between this show. Yesterday I was on that Ordinal Hive show and you guys were co-hosting. We have a weekly call. You guys are literally at this stuff 24/7, dude. Really props to that.
Well, we look up to you, man. You're the one that's grinding CEO over here of Emblem Vault. No,
man, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. But as you know that like you got to keep at it to stay relevant and also just get work done and progress. And so that's kind of our mentality. And we are excited that, Emblem shares that similar mentality as us.
Yeah, dude. No, non-stop. It's crazy. 2 years ago, I was a moderator in the Mooncat Discord, and then 2 years later, somehow I'm the CEO of a company. It's kind of wild how this space evolves over time. But it's really just if you have continuous work ethic and you identify trends and you're able to adjust and hop on the opportunity and kind of build new followers within every new avenue that you go, eventually it leads to some very incredible outcomes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Like 13 months ago, I was a CNC machinist who loved YouTube. Like, that's it. Like, I was obsessed with watching YouTube videos, and now I have my own show. Well, I have a co-host of a show. So
Yeah, it's the beauty of free markets where crypto is completely, it's unfettered. It doesn't have as many gatekeepers. There are in different ways, but a little bit different from the traditional finance where there's not as much red tape around things. So really, if you have an interest and if you have interest in, whatever you're doing and you have just kind of unbounded curiosity, then you really can take this in any direction. It's really quite beautiful. It's one of the reasons why I've been in this industry for almost 9 years at this point.
Yeah, and it's such a baby of an industry. Like we're getting on the we're getting in the ground floor, especially on Bitcoin, but not just Bitcoin too, but crypto alone. I mean, something that's really only been around for like 6-7 years, but actually like people building on it. I mean, you could have built on it earlier, like Shannon and stuff like that, but like you really didn't have like the tech stacks and the technology we have today to really kind of pick things up and really move it forward.
I've learned so much about the technology over the last 2 years since I joined Emblem, especially in the last year or so as we began to expand to different chains and talk with different types of teams. There's so many different nuances to these different deployers to where ultimately my job is kind of just, getting devs in the same room together, continuing that there's no hurdles along the way and just making sure that's a clear path. Like even, for example, this morning where I had to reach out to you guys because we're currently deploying on Merlin and there's some technical issue that has to do with like ZKs and Open Zeppelin libraries and stuff. And for me, I just have to understand, maybe 80% of what's going on there. And then for the rest of the way, you just get the developers in the room to hash out all the numbers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're glad that you guys are got on the same page with the Merlin team and gonna be rolling that out soon, hopefully. And that's just a part of this first kind of rollout, I guess, for your EVM style. Could you talk a little bit about, what that's gonna look like and how it's going so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started our audit with Chainlight last week. I haven't heard back from them yet, so it seems like things are going pretty well. We have kind of 5 priority blockchains that we wanted to initially launch in the cohort. We've launched on 2 already successfully, being ApeChain and Base. Obviously, this isn't public yet. And then we kind of have 3 more, which is Merlin, Arbitrum, and an Abstract. And with Abstract and Merlin, I've come to find out that they're not completely, they're EVM, but there's different components to it. I didn't even realize that Abstract is not an EVM chain. It's built on top of Celestia, and it is a ZK. I actually had no idea that was the case, but it is EVM compatible. And then Merlin's a fork of Polygon ZK tech stack, and so I guess there's some different types of components there. So I'm glad we got to get this out of the way early, and then we're going to be deploying 5 collections on each chain in this initial cohort, which is Emblem's popular collections, which is Rare Pepe, Fake Rares, Spells of Genesis, Embells, which is the art collection that we launched with alongside Viva La Vandal, and then the Emblem Open collection, which is just, it supports any type of deposit. And then after that, we're going to talk with each chain to see kind of what their priorities are and launch additional collections there and add, I think we can grow our priorities to maybe about 15 collections to where whenever Emblem deploys on a collection, these are kind of like the automated collections that get there. Like for example, with Merlin, they want pretty much every Bitcoin type of asset, like stamps, counterparty, ordinals, I guess whatever, taproot asset or tap assets or whatever kind of next protocol comes. Whereas things like Base seems to be a little bit like more interested in kind of like the Ethereum layer 1 assets like CryptoPunks. There's actually like a handful of ETH-scription collections that want to move over to Base because Facet kind of stopped supporting ETH-scription. They kind of built their own layer 2. And like with Abstract, they're interested in ordinals. And so it's kind of different. Obviously, you want to get every collection to every chain, but we're kind of going through this together to kind of really understand, where the demand is. And we also have to go then and partner with all the different applications on the different chains. Like for the easiest ones is to get all of our collections supported on the NFT lending protocols on each chain. And then you kind of take it one step further and you work with like either the marketplaces, like we formed a partnership with Ordinal Hive, who will support all of the kind of layer 2 collections for all the Bitcoin based assets. And then you look and see kind of what are these more DeFi experimental applications on these different chains to see who wants to do something with the NFT sector. Like, for example, with Unicross on Merlin, we've had a handful of conversations with them about taking different types of ordinals or counterparty assets to their protocol to then participate in, some of these kind of fractionalized things that they're doing, or maybe even some more kind of experimental type technologies. And I assume it's probably going to take, a month or two for people to realize, like, oh, hey, if I have a collection on whatever chain, I can just move it here. You just reach out to us. And that's probably once the traction starts, whether it's CryptoPunks, or whether it's one of these ordinal collections, or whether it's abstract. It's really tough to know where that kind of catalyst will begin, but we're going to do this no matter what. And then Bunzi, who's our front end developer, is working on deploying our bulk minting tool to mainnet currently, so ETH mainnet. So you'll be able to mint up to 25 vaults at a single time. So if I wanted to take, for example, 25 Bitcoin puppets, because I am, I'm a wealthy puppet who supports world peace, and I want to take it to abstract, then I can just, vault all of those and then mint it in a single transaction and make it quite easy. And then once all this is kind of this initial cohort's done, then we will integrate the jump tool to where you can start moving these assets across these different chains, and then start rolling out support for other things like Solana and any other type of requested chain. I'm sure there's like a handful of kind of Bitcoin layer 2s who want to go about this. And then hopefully by the end of March, we'll roll out the vaulting program, which is the point system. So for example, we have kind of an agreement with Abstract to where if I say bridge, if you bridge your ordinals over to Abstract, then you'll get keys points on our side, and then you actually get XP on the other side. So there's a few of these different L2s who kind of like this dual side kind of point system. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be very experimental, and we'll see where it goes. But if there's anyone who is a collection owner from any chain and you want to go to an L2 or Solana, just reach out to us and we're happy to provide that support.
Yeah. That's exciting, man. Because coming from a digital marketing background myself, this is like a digital marketer's dream, because not only are you expanding your product, you're branding at the same time, right? So it's like, this is what we have to do, as like expand our product, but we're going to be known because you're going to see Emblem Vault pretty much everywhere. And I'm sure you guys are going to have like a tool within the abstract ecosystem as well, right?
So what I've learned is talking with all these different grant programs and L2s, in our opinion, the co-marketing is much more of a lucrative offer than the kind of token grants that you get.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just don't even opt for the tokens. It's just like, hey, just, like how much is the value of, an Emblem Vault promotion through the Pudgy Penguin account or through the Abstract account, right? Like kind of getting them to sign off on it, basically like, brings the flood in, where they're like, okay, this is the official NFT bridge for this protocol, and now we're just going to participate with that. And generally it's a kind of monkey see, monkey do. Once one team does it, then it goes on and so forth. And so the important of the audit, not only is it that it ensures that the protocol is secure, but to get listed in these kind of portals on all these different chains. So like when you go to Abstract, the first thing you see is it's called a portal, where it has like 60 something applications listed. You have to actually, for each chain, go through like these kind of prerequisites to ensure that you get listed there. And then once you're there, then it's up to us and the community to kind of figure out what's the use case there for bridging these assets over. Sometimes it's not very clear, and sometimes it is quite clear. And really, it could just take one or two builders to come in and have an aha moment to be like, holy fuck, I can bring CryptoPunks to Abstract or apes, or I could bring my Pizza Ninjas over and, have this kind of IP play. It's going to be very, very exciting, and we will have a presence and we'll continue to do so. It'll be probably a little bit different depending on where the L2 is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man. I have a couple questions. My first question would be, let's just say like the founder doesn't want his collection to go on the chains, but I'm a holder. I have a lot of these. And let's say Runestones, for instance, but Leonidas doesn't want them off chain. Can I still come to your chain and get this whitelisted to jump?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the beauty of blockchain, right? You don't need the founder's permission to do so. If you're a collector, you basically have sovereignty over your asset, and we could go ahead and list them. You do get in this kind of like cultural spat to where some of these founders, you know, become a little bit more of like a chain maximalist. So they kind of signal that they don't like this. But at the end of the day, it's not up to the founder. It's up to the holders of whatever they want to do. And if a holder has a runestone and they see that there's a bid that's on Merlin chain that's higher than the bid that's native on Magic Eden natively, then the runestone holder, in our opinion, has every right to go ahead and bridge it over and accept that bid. Or if there's some sort of yield opportunity on Merlin to where they, you know, you could call it like a Merlin Seal 2 of some nature. Not saying that they're going to do this, but as an example, that there's 2 or 3 protocols you say, hey, bridge over your Pizza Ninjas and your Quantum Cats and your Bitcoin Puppets, and you'll farm our new token. Like, those holders have every right to participate in that.
Gotcha. And do I need to get this whitelist to do so, or does it matter? Like, does it matter if the collection is big, small, or whatever? Do I have to like contact you guys to be able to do this?
I would say reach out to us. We do have all the kind of general main large collections like OMB, Pizza Ninjas, Quantum Cats, Frogs, Puppets, Node Monkeys. Like, you can actually go vault those to ETH mainnet right now.
Oh wow.
They're, again, it's not like ETH has been in such a bad cultural spot that no one really wants to bridge to mainnet, and there's also really nothing going on mainnet. And so once we go to these other chains, I would say just reach out to us. It really doesn't matter how large the size of the community is, or if you want to go through our vault pad, where we have a partnership with Ordinals bot, and eventually we'll automate this to where we've had people come and say, hey, I haven't even inscribed my collection yet. Can I inscribe them and have them automatically delivered in vaults on base? And so then you basically have this bridge to base automatically out of the box immediately upon mint. This is what we tested with our MBells mint last year. If you remember, we did this where these vaults the MBells were inscribed on Bell's coin and then immediately delivered on Ethereum. So the trading immediately happened on Ethereum. We could do that with Ordinals. A lot of the big requests we had last year was, hey, can I inscribe on Bitcoin and have it delivered on Solana? So the trading immediately is on Solana. And you also get to obfuscate the mempool, so you don't have to worry about mempool sniping at that point in time, which is pretty attractive. And then you get the kind of Solana liquidity. So if you're in that position and you haven't even launched a collection, please just come talk to me, message me or Adam or the Emblem account, and we're happy to have these conversations.
Yeah.
My final question is, let's just say I did do the runestone over to base. Leo announces that we're doing the airdrop, doing it tonight. Am I able to get my tokens?
Absolutely. The great benefit of Emblem is that you're actually not moving the asset to the other chain. You're moving the private key. And so the runestone that's on base, quote unquote, is actually a runestone that's sitting in a Bitcoin wallet. It's just the private key is tokenized on base. So if there is an airdrop, all of those assets are still in the vault. There's actually, we had some issues with complications we've solved now with our legacy collection, to where when we did these migrations with Rare Pepe specifically, some of these vaults would have 50, 100 different assets inside of them, because since it's, for example, with a Nakamoto card, it's a $200,000 asset, and a lot of counterparty creators would just airdrop Nakamoto art to Nakamoto holders. And so because it's in a counterparty wallet, anytime there's an airdrop, this vault would just get filled with more and more assets. So when we went to go migrate some of these assets, there's 50 different assets inside. And so it was hard for us to determine which asset or like which card this needs to be migrated to. Obviously the Nakamoto one is where it wants to go, but you'd be quite surprised. Sometimes when I unlock a vault, there'll be 3-4 assets inside of there because people have airdropped stuff to it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Great to know.
So the floor of Nakamoto cards right now is 200K?
The most recent sale, I believe, was like 1.5 Bitcoin value or 1.7 Bitcoin. This was like, I think there's been 4 Nakamoto sales so far this year on Emblem Vault. I believe the highest was around 200,000.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Nice. I need to get into the old school Bitcoin NFTs, man. Like
Counterparty's the best, man.
The Ordinal people are like, what is that?
Well, it's interesting because Rare Pepe is higher in market cap than all of Ordinals combined. It's something that's just always skipped and missed for some reason. Maybe it's because counterparty native trading is not really taken off, or the collection is so large, right? 1,774 different cards times by however many of supply of these assets, right? So I think there's 9 one of one cards, but then there's some like Pepe Cash that are a billion supply, which was the Pepe Cash was the original meme coin. So, there's literally billions and billions of tokens here. So it's somewhat tough for people to kind of initially come in and understand what's the value system. But really, at the end of the day, Rare Pepe is it's a collector's collection. And to put it as weird, but it's most people are buying and holding these. There's not really that many flippers. And if you are a flipper, sometimes you have to buy and hold this and flip it. And it takes months to flip, but you can have a really kind of high gain. One of the goals for us initially with Emblem was, hey, if we can make Rare Pepe more accessible on every chain, then this helps improve the discoverability of the collection, but also helps kind of create this artificial scarcity on each chain so that hopefully it improves some of the liquidity to it. Because what Emblem does, and I heard Leonidas actually talking about this on Spaces the other day, like what Runes and what Dog should be doing is bridging to every chain. So there's essentially a buy button on every chain to buy Dog, right? And this is kind of how we view with Rare Pepe as well, and then with other Ordinal collections. Why shouldn't you be able to buy Rare Pepe on Solana or on Base? Why can't I buy a Node Monkey on Story Protocol? Or why can't I buy a Bitcoin Shroom on Barrett Chain? Like, why is there not a buy button there? And for us, that's like something we're essentially solving, because at the end of the day, it's a similar thing to like Amazon. And I use this reference a lot because Emblem is essentially Amazon. When you buy something on Amazon, that's not the only storefront there, right? That's just the biggest storefront. So you could say like Ethereum is the biggest storefront, but these people who are drop shippers also have it listed on 10 other marketplaces, some of them being, these smaller ones like Etsy, or depends on whatever you're selling. But you just go ahead and list your asset on Amazon because it has the most liquidity if you are somebody who's selling an item. And so what Emblem is doing is essentially the same thing. Is why would you keep your liquidity confined to Bitcoin when there's 10, 20, 30 other marketplaces where you can basically put a buy button for your asset? It's taken a little bit for people to kind of understand that. But Rare Pepe is literally the biggest example. Rare Pepe would not be where it is today. It would not be one of the top 5 most valuable collections in the NFT land if it wasn't for Emblem. Emblem also on the other side wouldn't be where it is today without Rare Pepe. So it's a very large proof of concept that has actually hit multiple times between Rare Pepe, Spells of Genesis, Bitcoin Ordinals, right? When Bitcoin Ordinals first started, they just said, hey, there is no buy button on Bitcoin, so let's put a buy button on OpenSea. And what did that do? That unlocked 3,000 ETH in volume in like a month. And the same thing happened with Litecoin Ordinals and ETH subscriptions and stamps. And it continues to play over and over and over. And so if you're a collection owner and you want to put a buy button on a different chain, like, why not do that? And for one kind of end to this tirade here is you don't even have to bridge the asset to put the liquidity over there. All Emblem has to do is deploy a collection. So for example here, what a lot of users do with Rare Pepe is they will keep the assets natively, and then there will be people on Ethereum who will just go and put bids on different types of Rare Pepes. And what a user will do is they'll see that resting bid on Ethereum, and then they'll go bridge the Rare Pepe over and accept the bid. And so they get kind of the best of both worlds, where they're holding their assets in the most secure way natively, and then they're just looking for the opportunity. And once the liquidity shows up, then boom, it's bridged and accepted and everyone wins. And from the user side, or from the bidder side, they don't have to worry if there's an asset there or not, because they know that, hey, if I put the liquidity here, then somebody's going to eventually come find it. It's almost like fishing, where if I'm going to put the bait here, there's some fishes, there's some sharks in the water, eventually somebody's going to come bite it. And that's essentially what Emblem's doing here. We're just now making that completely accessible to every single marketplace that exists. You're essentially just putting Amazon on every marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Are you able to bring rare Pepes and these Nakamoto cards to Bitcoin Ordinals?
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Wow,
It's
that'll be game changing.
we could do it. So we could do it with any asset. We haven't. Bitcoin will be kind of in the UTXO ecosystem will be kind of third. The way that we
Yeah.
look at it
Okay.
when we're deploying is you have EVM first because this is the most accessible developer ecosystem, and most things are EVM compatible. And then we're going to go to Solana, which we've already built for. We just kind of have to connect it to this new technology of Emblem 2.0. And then we consider the UTXO ecosystem. And Shannon has kind of already built a proof of concept model we did last year. It uses recursive inscriptions in Oracle and parent-child inscriptions. And so essentially you create a parent-child, and then you could have like you can that can be like the emblem collection, and then you create a bunch of grandparents, and this represents kind of the head of each collection. And then under then is when you create this like mintable kind of system to where people can bridge their CryptoPunks over, or they can bring them back. And recently Casey's added the burning function to Ordinals. Before we were going about it in a custom way. So the longer we wait, the more tooling that's actually popped up, which has made it a lot easier. And the bringing assets over to Bitcoin or to Dogecoin or to Litecoin or Bell's coin, what is the utility there? Is there a reason to bring stuff over? We've had a handful of people reach out to us as CryptoPunk holders to bridge their CryptoPunks to Bitcoin because they want to sell it in Bitcoin. They want it to nominate in Bitcoin because it seems much more attractive to sell a CryptoPunk for, we'll say it'd be like a 1.4 Bitcoin right now than it is to try to sell it for 50 ETH or 40 ETH or whatever the floor is. So you kind of get to destroy that, or you get to attack that unit bias and that kind of artificial ceiling where once people see it's 100 ETH, they're just like, they start kind of reconsidering it. But 1.4 Bitcoin, maybe there's a Bitcoin whale who's just been holding it and they just think it's easier to just do it that way. So every community, every blockchain, it has its own culture. And a lot of people are just generally lazy. But if that buy button is there on Bitcoin for CryptoPunks or for, whatever collection that it wants for Rare Pepe, then, just makes it easier to do. And that's our entire plan this year for the NFT side of things, is to create this network to where you can move any NFT to any chain because you can put that buy button there. Or, people could use it for additional programmability, like take your Node Monkey into other side whenever it launches, and you can use your Bitcoin puppet as an avatar because it can be an ERC-721 on ApeChain or whatever it is. So lots of open opportunities there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited for it, and I'm actually glad that like some of these figures in our space that had a reputation of being an L1 maxi are starting to open their mind a bit and realize, hey, look, there's a marketing approach to this too. It's like, there's a lot of the crypto space that don't know what ordinals are. Now they're learning more and more each day, but by being able to click that buy button, that is branding as well. And so, people need to realize that there's a chain abstraction movement that's happening in silence. Like, it's cooking like lasagna. It's happening inside. Seriously. Shout out Lil Wayne. Anyways, but what I'm trying to get at is that like this is going to make the movement of Bitcoin layer 1 assets so much bigger by the end of the cycle. And I'm glad that like we get to be a part of that, and Emblem's going to lead the way.
Yeah, I truly, I said this last time on the show, is that I don't think anybody else has the capacity to do this because there is that cultural barrier on every chain, and Emblem has been around for 8 years, going into its 9th year. So it has that Lindy effect. It also has that TVL of, 100 million or so in NFTs, which is just so significantly higher than the next bridge that it makes it hard. And I've come to understand why others don't want to do this, because it's also technically very difficult to build this kind of thing and getting people to bridge. And a lot of the new users who are coming in, they have no idea what bridging is. They have no idea what interoperability is, right? They just see, you could talk, a year or two from now, they'll just see Bitcoin Puppet on Abstract and they'll just think this is cool. And it'll say, oh, this is a Bitcoin asset. And they'll just say, oh, cool, and buy it. Like, it doesn't matter to them, right? And that is the future, to where you have this kind of where you make every single blockchain connected to create this one this one kind of universal internet of Web3. It's not like in today's world with Web 2, each website is disconnected, right? And you can't, or they all live on kind of, the different HTTP kind of infrastructure. And so that's kind of what bridging does, is it's able to link all these blockchains together to make that in the train instructed way. And shout out to Odin Fun for kind of kicking that door down, which is pretty cool. And talking outside of whether it has traction or not, just the idea that Bob has, a high degree of credibility in the space, and he went ahead and did this. And there's a lot of things happening on the back end that wasn't even mentioned until later, right? Like converting your BTC to CKBTC.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've seen over the last week is most people just don't care. And, it's something we've been talking about on the show for a long time. Maybe there should be some sort of warning to say, hey, when you deposit, this gets converted to CKBTC. Obviously, that'll dissuade a lot of people. But I just think that now, hopefully, you're going to see this next wave of application builders on Bitcoin using some type of chain abstraction, using some type of off-chain component, whether it's a server or whether it's a different type of blockchain, and really showcase, what Bitcoin can be and why Bitcoin was always set out to look at other chains, take the best properties, and then try to embed that into the culture.
Absolutely. And if these, laser eyes or L1 maxis are right about like Bitcoin's current state is what it was meant to be, then basically what these chain abstraction type tech stacks were meant to service the assets that Bitcoin creates then, because you're not messing with the security, right? And with that, actually, one of our community members has kind of a question and statement here towards you, and says, WebDro says, Jake, can you make me feel better about the private key aspect? And I think they mean, storing the private key in the vault whenever you jump. If you could kind of break that down for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Emblem 2.0, which is going through the audit, we use LIP protocol on the back end. LIP protocol is a TEE system. It's very similar to what ICP is doing or what NEAR is doing as well. LIP protocol is in the same way. A TEE, it's called a trusted execution environment. It's basically what I call a maze for private keys. And so the vaults or the NFTs are non-custodial, which means that Emblem has no access to the keys. So what Emblem is doing is quite unique and innovative, is where when a vault is minted, and I'll use a NodeMonkey, for example. So if I'm minting a NodeMonkey vault to base, the private key to that vault that has the NodeMonkey is encrypted and sharded across a TEE network, which has to do with like nodes. It has to do with different types of encryption. But one of those key shards actually travels with the NFT itself. So the only way to unlock the NFT or the only way to unlock the vault is to hold the NFT. So you have one key shard with the NFT, and then the remaining key shards are basically encrypted in this TEE system. I highly recommend looking up LIT protocol. They're really world-class when it comes to this idea of programmable keys. It's actually called decentralized key signatures is what they're doing. But again, ICP has their own TE system. So this is what Bob is doing with Odin Fund. NEAR protocol has their own TE system as well. I think this is what RuneMine is doing with their Runes bridge. We are using LIT protocol because they offered this idea of programmable keys, which none of the other two service providers were able to do. Maybe they will soon, but once we started building the system out, then they will have it. So, but Emblem, we could work with any TE system as long as they have this idea of programmable keys, which allows one of the key shards to move with the NFTs. But the big upgrade here from Emblem 1.0 to 2.0 is that we're moving from Web3 auth to LIT protocol. So in Emblem 1.0, Emblem held one key shard of I think it was like 47 or something like that. But now with Emblem 2.0, Emblem holds no key shard. So we actually don't participate, which makes it non-custodial and actually makes us regulatory compliant so that we're not considered a money transmitter. And it allows us to dabble in fungible tokens so that we can actually do something like VBTC in an Emblem vaulted way and a non-custodial way to where we don't need a money transmitter license. Because trust me, the idea of having us hold one key to every single vault for Emblem 1.0, that is not something that we want. That is not something that we want to have the responsibility for. And this is why TE is so popular, because we do believe in this decentralized vision. And so actually just going one step further, what we're doing with Emblem Keys, which is the token we're launching at the end of the year, is to try to decentralize the Emblem Vault protocol even more with Emblem 3.0, where you can actually stake again, things could change, but the idea is you stake the Emblem Vault token in this kind of node network, and you could get a share of the fee revenue, but also you can partake in verifying what's called the vault creation process and the vault claiming and jumping process. So that we think that probably adds the final layer to this, to where it's essentially a decentralized protocol at that point in time, where the keys to all the vaults are non-custodial to Emblem's perspective, and then you also have these nodes that are participating in validating vault creation, just like you'd see with like a miner or node. And that point in time, then there's no way for Emblem to really rogue you at any point in time. So there is some centralization risks, but right now the private key aspect is completely abstracted away from Emblem Vault, where there is no participation. It's all used in lit protocol. Obviously you can say, well, what happens if lit protocol gets hacked? It's like the same thing of saying, yeah, what happens if ICP is hacked, or what if Near is hacked? Like, they all have their own systems. But one of the key things we like about lit protocol is that they also have a hardware component, to where the encryption is not just in this kind of software. There's also like a physical component. So if you have some malicious hackers, they also have to appear in the physical world to go hack this kind of physical component there. But it's all in their documentations, and I really recommend looking at lit protocol, because that's how we secure the keys to all the vaults.
Absolutely. And like having the multiple fail safes, like the hardware thing to me is huge, because, most hacks, exploits happen like different countries, whether it's North Korea or just, you have to actually physically be there. So that's one of the fail safes. And from my understanding, lit protocol takes that similar near approach, to where there's like, I think 3 different fail safes, right? So the hardware one to me is huge. And then you go through the sharding process, and then the MPC as well, right? So all these different kind of fail safes to me is really, really big. And just to let you know, WebDro, Emblem 1.0, yes, they did have one of the shards that made it a little bit centralized, but there was never an exploit, and you guys dealt with over $100 million of TVL. So kind of moving to Emblem 2.0, removing themselves, making it non-custodial, at least from the sharding process, is huge. So it's like you can see each new version of Emblem remove the custodial part. Next one is going to be from start to finish decentralized, meaning that like when you create the vault, they're not even involved because it's automatically set up, correct?
Yeah, you have a node network. So like the central point right now is Emblem is essentially the owner of the vault minter, right? And that aspect is closed source. Although I think that we are going to be open sourcing some parts of that post this audit for the 2.0 system. And it would be similar to it's one of the smart contracts. I think there's like 6 smart contracts to the system. And so once you have users who are participating in the validation of these vaults being minted, then from top to bottom, it's essentially non-custodial. It's essentially like you're adding miners to kind of the entire network. And I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a very heavy lift, but that's why it's tough for me to see this is why I kind of explain Emblem as it's like a Web3 Amazon. And what I mean by that is, what does Amazon do? Amazon, it creates a package, and then user A puts their items in the package and then sends it to user B, and they're in different geographical locations. What does Emblem Vault do? It creates an NFT where you can put NFTs or fungible tokens inside. So inside of one vault, I could put a Node Monkey, a CryptoPunk, and some Solana all in a single one. And I could take it from Bitcoin and I can ship it to Solana, right? Or I could go ship it to Merlin. And that's exactly what Amazon does. We just add this kind of programmable layer to it. And we have a bunch of different products as well that kind of use the same type of technology. So it is really exciting. And it's really cool that chain abstraction is starting to take off on Bitcoin, because it's something that Emblem's been doing for going into our 5th year on Ethereum.
Yeah, man, 100%. And you did say like to the UTXO chains later. Did you guys ever had any internal conversations about maybe Cardano bridging over there as well?
We're open to it. Honestly, the best way to look at it is there's EVM, there's SGM, and then there's UTXO. And then within the UTXO system, you have to look and see what are the NFT standards for it. So essentially, we could take a vault, we could attach it to an ordinal, we could attach it to a counterparty asset. You could attach it to kind of a tap asset or whatever cat VMs kind of thing is. So you go over to Cardano, we'd have to kind of look and see what their NFT standard is. Because really all you're doing is you're just taking a crypto wallet and you're attaching it to a token of some type, whether that's whether that's a SAT, right? Or whatever Cardano is using. I think that would be cool because Cardano also has some smart contract programmability.
100%, and I'm sure Fluid would love that as well because they're obviously building over here and over there. I just idea popped in my head when I heard you talking about it. So yeah, 100%. But this isn't the only product that Emblem's building. You guys are actually building this amazing AI wallet concept. It's actually blowing my mind every single day. And you guys are competing with some big players. I mean, talking about Hey Anon, we're talking about Grift and many more. But you guys are you guys have a product pretty much almost done, right?
Wait. There's an AI product called Grift.
Well, it's by Orbit. Yeah. It's called Grift.
Interesting.
You gotta love this space. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. Actually, I brought a surprise. I haven't even told you guys this. So if I could share my screen, I can actually show you.
I love surprises.
Basically what the website is going to look like, and I could kind of go through it all. This isn't something I've shared publicly, but it is. We are getting close to being done to where you could kind of see. Let's see. So
exclusive on Ordinal Revolution.
It is exclusive. My team's probably gonna get mad at me for doing this, but
you're CEO,
we only got
so
555 people, so
right. Yeah. So if you want to put that on the screen, we'll kind of walk through what's going on here. So this is agenthustle.ai. This is going to be the new. This is kind of this is us entering in the DeFi AI kind of space. So what we've built, there's a few things going on here. So first, we built Emblem AI wallets, and what the Emblem AI wallets are again using LIP protocol on the back end. We're creating these multi-chain vaults where you see here on the left, this is your vault. So we're just launching with Solana, but we also have support for Bitcoin and for EVM as well. But we're going to kind of slow roll what's going on. And so with Solana, you have this AI wallet. It's actually a smart wallet. So technically it's an API wallet. And so these vaults that you see here on the left are non-custodial. And so we built out our own infrastructure to where you can go ahead and create these. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to agenthustle.ai once this is launched, and you're going to sign in, and it's going to create a vault for you on agenthustle.ai. And what this vault is on the left is actually co-managed with Agent Hustle, the AI that's actually there. So think of it as like ChatGPT operator, where you can actually have the AI that you could communicate with performing these kind of DeFi functions. And what you see here, so you have the balances, you see these different tokens there. And on the right-hand side where it says complete more steps to unlock the chat, and at the top, you see ops. So the ops are basically our onboarding tasks. There's going to be 5 onboarding tasks, which is literally going to be as simple as just clicking a button for all of these. And it's going to take you through opening a vault, sending some Solana into the vault to kind of open it, a prompt to activate Agent Hustle in the chat, and then 2 other things, which you guys will see once it's launched. And what you see up here on the left-hand side are what we call mini apps. So you see balances, memory graph, which is actually on the website right now if you go talk to him. It's kind of like it shows how he's creating these memories and these ideas. Because the cool part with Agent Hustle is that he has a memory attached. So once you sign in with your wallet, with your Solana wallet, with Phantom, I think you can sign in with MetaMask as well. Then he will remember all of your conversations that's attached to that wallet address. So he'll remember you just as in the corner, AJAN, blah, blah, blah. But if you say, hey, I'm Jake, associated with this wallet, he'll remember that you are, that it's Jake assigned to that wallet. And you could continue on. And what you see up here on the left is things like swaps, LPs, perps, limits. These are all different mini apps that we've built into the interface to where you can manually swap on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side, you could just tell Agent Hustle to swap. So if I said the token associated with Agent Hustle is called Tensorium, TNSR, you could say, hey, Agent Hustle, can you swap in this, you can see in this wallet, swap 0.07 Solana for Tensor. And you'll see him actually do it on the left-hand side. It'll fill it in, it'll do it automated. And you can actually have conversations with him outside of just DeFi. Shannon posted recently that he has Windsurf and I believe Cursor integrated. So you can actually code with Agent Hustle himself as well as a developer kind of co-pilot. And with these different mini apps, we're going to continue to build them out to where you can do all of these different DeFi functions. And then eventually, I think the next step is to add Bitcoin into it so that you can use him to swap for runes. You can buy ordinals, and eventually probably we'll have to integrate with some of these other Bitcoin DeFi protocols to do kind of different types of functions. And the cool part here is that we also built a Telegram bot. I think this might be the first ever Telegram bot for AI components, or for AI assisted chatbots. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever traded on a Telegram bot, there's these different buttons you can use to kind of buy contracts, but we've integrated Agent Hustle to it to where you can actually have a conversation with them and get kind of more context to whatever you're buying or selling. And so users can then sign in with the same wallet on both the Telegram bot, which we call HustleBot, or agenthustle.ai, and he remembers all of your conversations, and the funds also transfer. So he's multi-platform, and also the Emblem AI wallet is also multi-platform, to where the same wallet works on both Telegram and the Agent Hustle website itself. And so, you know, we're really excited about this product. It's actually kind of wild that the Tensorium, the Tensorium token, I think, is at like a $1 million market cap, when a lot of the ones in this sector are, I think, like 100 or 200 million. So, you know, you hope the value accrues to that token, because Agent Hustle is actually going to be autonomous as well. So you see in the bottom left-hand corner, it says Agent Hustle's wallet. He has some Solana and some Tensor. And so as he's working with you and you're doing trading with him, he's also going to be learning, and then he can apply some of these strategies autonomously across chain to do these different types of things. And so he's not a chatbot on Twitter. Eventually he will be, to where certain people can interact with him, and maybe myself and Shannon can actually have him execute transactions through Twitter autonomously, and you'll see in real time his balance update, whether it's good or bad. And we're really going to experiment there. So we're kind of creating this vertically integrated AI system for DeFi functions, and it's going to start on Solana, then we're going to work on Bitcoin, and then we'll work on EVM, and then you can use it between Telegram or between the website, maybe some other features to come. And it's all built on the Emblem AI wallets, which uses Lit protocol on the back end for the security assumptions.
Most undervalued AI token, in my opinion. I mean, you're seeing this breakdown that's just like, not financial advice, but I'm just saying, like, you know, everything that the capabilities, right? All those DeFi functions over there. This is what people have been talking about for about a month and a half, 2 months, about, okay, once the AI agents can actually do DeFi actions on your behalf, that's when it's going to be game changing. And it seems like that's where Tensorium is getting involved here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And also he's going to become the intelligence layer of Emblem. So you'll see eventually we're going to add a vault button to where you can actually ask him, hey, Agent Hustle, can you tell me what's the highest bid for a Bitcoin puppet across all the blockchains? And he'll say, oh, there's a resting bid of 5 ETH on base for your Bitcoin puppet. And then he would say, would you like me to vault and accept the bid? And you can say yes. And, you know, he'll vault the puppet and accept the bid, and you can go ahead and do that. And it really is a kind of 0 to 1 moment for the crypto UX experience, to where you can use him to analyze, you know, all these kind of cross-chain protocols to give you all this different type of data. And then you can actually just have him execute the bridging experience. So, and I think Ethereum, the Ethereum ecosystem is probably the most to benefit from AI agents because it's going to abstract away the bridging aspects to it. And this is where Agent Hustle just becomes its own kind of self-sustaining product. But we like to view Agent Hustle as kind of a customer or a user of Emblem AI, but we just call it Agent Hustle. And it's going to be exciting. And so hopefully this improves the Bitcoin experience as well. If you're just sitting there and you can ask him, to list your asset on Magic Eden or whenever Saturn's trading, you can say, hey, arbitrage the arbitrage dog between Saturn on Arch and Magic Eden and dot swap, and kind of go about this in an automated way to where you can build conditional trading, which Shannon is working on. He's a big fan of state machines. And so he's actually building something that's an AI crossover with state machines, because Shannon also is a big gamer for a long time. So he used to use state machines in World of Warcraft professionally in the mid 2000s to build pathways to acquire digital assets inside of MMO RPGs. And what he tells us is that this is actually pretty similar to what we're building here, to what he used to build in the mid 2000s on a professional basis. And so he's applying some of that past logic to this kind of new types of technology to build these type of conditional things to where you can say, hey, Agent Hustle, can you LP some Solana and Tensorium in the LP pool? And then once my position changes by 10%, or once it gets out of balance, then please just automatically update it. And so it can hopefully take away a lot of these additional clicks that requires for people to kind of just sit here and manage your LP position, because it's very tiring and I'd like to do something else. And I think a lot of other people do as well. So this is the first kind of showcase of what it looks like. We're really, really close. And the first thing I think we're going to release before this is what's called the Hustle paper. We're targeting hopefully next week to release that. So it'll be the first time I've said that. So if anybody in the Tensorium chat's watching this, then you finally have your answer. It's pretty close to being done. And once that's live, then we're going to try to roll this out first and then give it a week or two, see how people react. And then the Telegram bot, known as Hustle Bot, hopefully after, and then add Bitcoin. And that's when the real fun starts.
Yeah, man. I just wish the Tensor token was a Rune, because like these Solana guys, they can't hold anything. I mean, I'm talking about lettuce hands. I mean, I'd be afraid to give one of those guys a cup. They just drop it as soon as you gave it to them, because they just cannot hold. But yeah, have you talked to like Rune Mine or something about potentially maybe getting it from Solana to a Rune?
That would be cool. We're open to it. We're going to be experimenting with Tensorium a lot. There's things within this platform that Tensorium is going to be used for, and then there's also things for Agent Hustle to do. One of the goals for Agent Hustle is actually to acquire more Tensorium. So you could call it kind of like an AI buyback, I guess, right? Where if the AI is successfully being autonomous, then he's going to obviously acquire more of his token, which is beneficial to holders. Will that be successful? I think is to be determined. There's one case where he could just essentially he has 0.5% of the supply in his wallet. He could fucking just nuke the whole thing, right? Which could obviously be bad as well. But he'll be aggregating data. And one of the good signs here is we're working with I've been interacting actually with a handful of AI companies outside of crypto. And the one who supports our memory had to actually extend us to almost the third tier in terms of data. So I think Agent Hustle's formed over 400,000 memories so far. And he's only been live since December 31st. So a little over 5 weeks. And he really can't do too much. I mean, he knows a lot about crypto, but he's not hooked up to a lot of different APIs. So he doesn't get real-time data, but he can do really well within everything else. But once you start hooking him up to all these different APIs across all these different chains, maybe you can have him help you inscribe stuff or give you some perspective on, hey, the mempool's at, right. If the mempool is high, say, hey, when the mempool drops to 2 sats per VByte, inscribe these text files for me, right? Obviously, we'd have to add image generations and stuff like that, but there's so many cool things that you could do with this once we really get it going.
Yeah.
Transfer
And
inscriptions. I hate them. This is the way it's done, right? So
yeah. You might still have to wait a little bit though, but it's okay because you already sent the prompt to them and you just go eat lunch and stuff and come
Yeah.
back and it's done. But I was gonna say, I actually wouldn't worry too much. I agree with you that Solana people are lettuce hands, but we are kind of in this obviously like a dry period in crypto across the landscape, right? But if you build a product so solid to where these whales come in and then we start to have an alt season, the buy pressure will eliminate these these traders, these small traders that are looking for like 1 to 5% profit. They will actually get eliminated because the buy pressure will be so strong that we blow past 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, and then everybody in the space is going and people start looking for longevity type projects, utility. That spotlight will come back, and I think that's where something like a Tensor token on Solana will thrive. I don't know. We'll see though.
It's interesting. I've learned a lot about Solana over the last it's crazy. We launched this not even 3 months ago. It feels like I've been doing this for 3 years already. Solana's space just moves so fast, and the trading really also moves extremely fast and requires a lot of attention. And Shah, who runs AI16Z, actually put this post out the other day that the AI sector probably made a mistake launching all of these as a free and fair, as like kind of a fair launch or a free launch on Pump Fund, because a lot of the assets are acquired and the team doesn't really have a stake in it. Like Emblem only owns 6% of the Tensor token, right? So we didn't really get to claim that much because you have to basically snipe it in the beginning. And we launched it initially as an experiment to see what the interest was. And the interest actually was much higher than we anticipated. So it really accelerated a lot of the development. Took us kind of like a month or two to really figure out what the direction was of this project. And there's the community or our chat, the Tensorium chat, thinks that the chart is being manipulated by whales. It's like that infamous kind of tweet.
Boogeyman.
Like, right? The boogeyman. And maybe it is, and maybe that's a part of because it was launched on Pump Fund that people allocate this or can get a large supply of this token or bundle it into different wallets to where they can, trade the different volatility and basically siphon out as much money as possible. But we want to deploy, or we want to, I guess, implore different types of deflationary mechanisms to try to really fight that and try to combat to where you get this, upward buy pressure because there's more value accruing to the token, because there's more things that you could do with it. So there will be some things that people will see once we launch this that utilizes the Tensor token. And then obviously you have Agent Hustle, who eventually will use the token to deploy strategies to acquire more. So there's a few different ways you could go about this. It's going to take some time, and the token's obviously down 96% from its all-time high of 20 million to I think like 1.5 million right now. The entire AI sector is just down like horrendously. Yeah. I've actually never seen
it.
Well, the whole crypto sector, I mean, maybe obviously the blue chip and majors took the least amount of hit, but some of them took still a strong hit, and it's Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Hyper liquid to me is an anomaly. I don't know what the hell they got going on with their tokenomics, but like, yeah.
Well, you can short there. That's why you're able to short there, and that's what people are doing, right? But like AI XPT is down almost 80%, like 60% since Udi bought it, but like 80% since the all-time high, and that's supposed to be the next.
How much did he put into it? Right? I forgot.
He
put
in, I think.
A
million at a half. What is it? $500,000 market cap or something crazy?
Something like
$500
that.
million market cap.
I'd never seen a sector of crypto implode so fast as AI tokens. I actually made this
DeFi did. DeFi right after DeFi summer, that was just as
deflated just so fast. It literally the AI space went from like top to bottom in like a week. I'd never seen it like literally sell off so fast. I made the joke that Ordinals and Runes took 8 months from top to bottom, where the AI sector took 8 days. It's kind of crazy, and it just shows like how fast and slow and the disparities are between the time preferences.
And that's the thing too. People say it's DeFi summer. DeFi summer was only like a month and a half, right? And then AI, I'm calling it AI winter because it's like the same thing, but it was just with AI. It's the same thing that happened. It's like sparked in like the first week of December and died by like January 20th, right? And the same thing with DeFi summer. I mean, from the point where I think it was SushiSwap when that was kind of like the end of DeFi Summer, is when he dumped all of his tokens, and I'm pretty sure that ended up being like Sam Bankman-Fried. It was like, I forget his name, was like the sushi chef. But like that was DeFi Summer was only a month and a half, and AI Winter was
He was
got
doxxed.
a month and a half.
He was doxxed. It wasn't Sam Bankman-Fried. He was doxxed.
I don't know. I don't know if he was doxxed. He
It's
was going by
possible.
sushi chef.
It is weird because they do have an Alameda wallet linked to like the initial deposit to the account. So it could have been SBF and Alameda, or it could have been a friend of Alameda. But there's definitely a link there in the first transaction.
Oh, maybe he wasn't doxxed. I could have sworn that their
No,
founders were
he
doxxed.
He was known as a sushi chef, and the rumor came out when they were going into FTX was that the wallets matched up. That it could have been Sam Bankman or someone from the team.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if that didn't happen. Like sushi could be Uniswap right now.
One of the craziest moments I think of DeFi Summer actually was kind of at the top when everyone was farming yams. I don't know if you remember that. It was like the total Ponzi where you took all of the DeFi yield bearing tokens and then you also restake them again.
It was so
where it was like,
man,
where it was like it was like 4 or 5 different LP tokens from like Aave, Compound, I forget what the Yearn and something else, and you could stake it there. And at that point, gas got up to like $1,000 a transaction, and it really just felt like a giant game of hot potatoes.
Yeah.
And the TVL went from like 0 to 200 million in like a few hours. And at that time, that was like insane TVL. You're like, what the hell is going on here? And then right after Yams, I think the whole thing like imploded like quickly after.
Well, there was multiple like ecosystems on different chains that replicated that, because basically it would be like the first tokens on that chain that would grow like a good reputation, strong TVL, and then a new protocol would come in and offer their fluff token for you to stake there, and then it just continued, right? Like, but it's so funny because I'm not gonna lie, I got sucked in a little bit. I was like, I'm so early to this new future of finance, but then I was like, how many times can they have you restake this token and this token and this token? But but
that grew real DeFi, right? Like Aave came from that, Maker came from that real DeFi, and I think the same
top level stuff is solid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the top things here. So we had this AI Winter, but I mean, there was things that like copied Expedia, right? I mean, it was just crap. Dora the Explorer, complete crap that came out of AI Winter. But then a few projects really came back later. Like 2 months later is when the real DeFi sector really started to fly up, and then we got the Ponzi's again afterwards. But I think the same thing's going to happen. I think we're going to have like 2 months of this sideways for AI-fi, whatever you want to call it, and then just absolute explosion to the real projects take off. And that's something maybe I see with you guys and Tensor. So
I hope so. Yeah, Tensorium.
Tensorium. Yeah, sorry.
We're really with this one with the agent hustle and with the ops and stuff, we're really kind of combining our 50 years of crypto experience between the team. Actually might be higher now. And really leveraging this together to create a very simple onboarding experience. Using Shannon's kind of AI developer skills to really build a killer AI that can integrate with these DeFi tools, and to really kind of market this in a good way, and to use our kind of tokenomic strategies to create a sustaining product. What we think one of our key advantages is with Emblem is we've had Shannon, who's been building the AI space since the mid 2000s, the AI kind of bot space, and he was a developer at Mastercoin in 2012. So he has this very, very, very rare experience of multiple decades between building on both of them, where the majority of these AI crypto teams are AI developers who are new to crypto, who only joined either within the last few months or within the last few years. Whereas between Chris, Adam, myself, we joined in 2016, 2017, and then Eric and Shannon, the two co-founders, joined in 2012. And then we have a few other developers as well who've been here for quite a while. So we have this like, we've seen all of these different things happen over and over and over. And we're using our kind of network to really start building some cool products. And I really feel that this Agent Hustle launch and where this is going really kind of embellishes a lot of that. And then you combine that with what we're doing with Emblem 2.0 and like the expansion campaign and tokens and stuff. And I really think this could be kind of this like very rare positive flywheel closed loop system where you can have these different tokens, really kind of play on another. And one kind of final point here is, I know a lot of people get confused between, hey, what's keys for or what's tensor for? To kind of explain a little bit of that, we initially, we have this token called Koval. We announced that we're migrating it to keys to do this kind of expansion campaign, where Emblem Keys is a rune. It's going to be the protocol token of Emblem Vault, which I explained a little bit earlier what the use case of that's for. We started building the Emblem AI wallets over the summer because we knew AI was going to take off, but we didn't know exactly how it would or what that would look like. And so when the AI meme coins started gaining in popularity, we deployed the Tensorium token, which actually had three different names. It was called Agent. It was called Hustle and Flow State, Neural Eth, and then the token was called Tensorium. And we had this like different kind of vision of what the outcome would be. And the community, we launched this experiment. We actually tried to launch Tensorium anonymously. And so Shannon deployed it from a different wallet. Somehow they figured out that Shannon deployed it with some sleuthing, and the token went from 0 to 5 million in like an hour. So we kind of were caught off guard by that. But to us, we've been in crypto for so long that we know this is rare where you could get this type of kind of interest. And also the best marketing in crypto is have number go up. Like it just does not beat that. So we have a community of 4,000 people now who are very interested, and we've had to take some branding changes for Tensorium, and we've had to honestly internally change what the purpose of the token is, and honestly kind of the direction of the product. But we've been quick enough to see the industry mature and to take kind of our expertise to understand where we think this is going. And the community had tried to force us multiple times to create a chat bot in the very early days, and we were very resistant to it. We were like, this is not what we want him to be. It's just a reply bot. We do not want to be classified as that. Yes, it has attention now, but we were like, this is going to implode so fast, and there's probably only going to be one or a few winners. Ultimately, there was like 2 or 3 winners. You have like AI, XBT, and Zero Bro kinda, and maybe a few others. And we knew that we could do something much larger than that. And so we feel comfortable now where this is going. And now it's just more of a development time thing than it is kind of a vision thing. And so we showcased it here. And so you have Emblem Keys, which is the protocol token of Emblem Vault, which will be used for, again, staking in the staking for the Emblem 3.0 system. Can also be used for the Emblem AI revenue share if that takes off as well. And then you have Tensorium, which is the token of Agent Hustle. So you could think of it as the token of the intelligence layer, where Keys is the token of the infrastructure level. And, I explained a few of the things that we have planned for that. Also, some things will be in the Hustle paper. And then some things are also just to be determined because we don't really know where this is actually going to go. We could be directionally right, but what existed, if you think 6 months ago, the AI space didn't even exist. So it's really hard to know exactly where things will be 6 months from now, especially with different types of friendlier regulatory environment in the United States where our business is. And couldn't be more excited, honestly, between two of them. It was kind of painful for a few months, but very, very confident in Agent Hustle AI, the Emblem AI sector, and then also Emblem Vault, the NFT side of things.
Yep. Exciting stuff, man. And we're coming up on that hour mark here with the Emblem Hour. But before we let you go, got some community members here. Memetic X says, "Yo, Jake, so did you say I can time vault some ordinals for about 10 years and I won't have any issues getting the keys or whatever when it comes time?" And he says, "I was the first to inscribe 5 tweets related to Ross's release." That's awesome, by the way, from prison, and want to time vault them for 4,130 days, the amount of time he was locked up. So is that possible?
Yeah, that is possible. So with time lock vaults, we're kind of in an interesting situation. So we use the co-vault time locks and founder vaults as the kind of first proof of concept with the time lock vaults, and it seems like they work now. So once we have the Emblem 2.0 system up and running, we're actually going to build a new time lock section within Emblem.vision to where you'll have different options to time lock, where you can time lock ordinals or Ethereum assets or whatever you want. And so we still have to build out a little bit of that interface once the audit's done and everything. So you could say maybe like a month away or so. And then you'll be able to time lock it to a block height or a world clock. And, maybe some of that will change in terms of the technical implementation. But the idea is you'll be able to time lock it for as long as you want, and you can actually trade that NFT. So the cool part with time lock vaults is essentially what it is tokenized staking. And so you're right. And in this perspective, you can time lock it and then you can still go borrow against it if you want. So for us, like with the founder vaults, each one has 2 million keys in it. In theory, you could just go borrow against it while it's still kind of locked up. And so we hope a lot of other people use this stuff as well. Again, it's still kind of the proof of concept stage. But with Memeticx's suggestion, I'd love to see that in action, and then also to see other people use it in different types of ways. It's just really tough to predict. But yes, you will be able to do that once that collection is live.
Awesome. And a couple other comments here. Danny says, Hype supposedly puts money in the coin off of fees they make off of leverage. Okay, now that's starting to make sense to me. And then Mice Elf says, I don't trust Solana because of how intertwined SBF and Alameda were with that chain. Man, me too, honestly. Like when it dropped to $8, that's what kept me from buying it, but I wish I did now. But yeah, and then final response from Memeticx is perfect. I think Aaron is putting something in the vault as well. Awesome. So awesome.
Super cool. So that means then probably one of the first time lock collections we'll have to do is just a Bitcoin Ordinals general collection. So you can just vault any type of Ordinals that you want. Or we create like an emblem open one to where it's just one vault has a bunch of different types of deposit addresses. You think it almost is like a time capsule kind of thing. So
yeah, man, 100%.
And these kind of like questions is really what helps us make decisions on what we need, right? Because we kind of put the technology out there and then the community gives us feedback on what they want. So I'll definitely put that as a priority once we get to that.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been absolutely awesome, Jake. Thank you so much for joining us each and every Friday, guys. And looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, appreciate it, guys. Always a pleasure. Have a good Friday. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll talk soon.
All right. See you later.
See you, man. Absolutely awesome as always, guys. But during that, we did have some breaking news that I kind of wanted to share with you guys before we go here. Leo Callard, this is a tweet from him. Did I say his last name right? Callard?
I don't know. I think it's Callard. Yeah, Callard.
He said, update on the stones. Staking is approaching. We have been working on 2 staking approaches. One entirely on chain with Fluid, guys, and the other one with the talented OX Noor Aries, specifically developed for the block and stone collections. Very soon, you'll be able to stake your stones to earn even more. Lord of the Stones rune. Holy crap, I had no idea that existed. The staking launch is scheduled for the beginning of next week. Airdrop of a stone for all block holders. What does that mean?
I'm not sure what the block holders are, unless maybe there's a block that's runestone or something, or NFT collector.
Maybe it's one of the it might be one of the bigger runestones. We are working around the clock for this to happen as earlier as possible, but it may take a couple more days for us to for this global airdrop so that it can be executed at once. Updated visuals on Magic Eden. The visuals of the stones on Magic Eden are currently being updated to load quickly. Soon, it will also be possible to view the stone's native inscription in 3D directly. So, guys, we actually knew about Fluid, but we couldn't tell you guys because they're a partner of ours, and this is something they're really looking forward to. This is huge. Absolutely huge for Leo, absolutely huge for the stones, and absolutely huge for Fluid. Guys, there's 10,000 of these stones, and I hope 60% of them get locked up. Because what that's going to do, that's going to make the stone price so much higher than it would be if not. And this is absolutely amazing. And Fluid doesn't in a non-custodial way while these guys are doing it in a custodian way. So you definitely want to do the non-custodian way with Fluid, in my opinion.
Yeah, same here. There's not much stuff you can do DeFi wise on Bitcoin Layer 1, but Fluid definitely provides that staking ability. So, look into that and make your decision based off of that. But man, what a freaking amazing show! I was off a little bit in the beginning. My mind was a little scrambled, but But you know, it ends up, I don't care. At the end of the day, man, we got, you know, 631 people listening to us, and hopefully you guys learn something. As I say every time, you know, that's the biggest priority for us, is to educate. If we're not educating you guys, we don't want to do this, right? So whether that's something we bring someone else on to educate y'all or whatever, we're gonna find a way to hopefully help you guys learn more about this space.
I mean, it's way more than 600. We got like 70 over on Rumble, and we got like 6 over on ABS.
Abstract,
so
so
Abstract. So I mean, we're over 700. Absolutely amazing for a Friday, and especially with the markets how they are now.
100%, man. And without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. You know, we love to do this. We have a passion for it. Yeah, some days we might seem down. You know, everybody's down, and you know, we try to pick ourselves up real quick because we want to make sure that we pick you guys up too. You know, because it's hard sometimes, but the benefits outweigh the stress, in my opinion. And so, if you wouldn't mind checking out our partners, we would greatly appreciate that, as we appreciate them as well, as they also help us do this. And Emblem Vault, we just went over them. You know, not much to say because you guys just got, you know, a lot of education on them. You know, they're going to be the interoperability tool for ordinals. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals to, you know, Merlin, Bitcoin Layer 2, to Abstract, many other chains. The AI wallet's going to be amazing. Tensor's going to be able to do a lot of transactions on your behalf. And then the Emblem Vault keys rune, which is, in my opinion, going to be huge because they're going to be branded everywhere. Everyone's going to know about them. You can learn more at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is an Xverse wallet, some Bitcoin, and it takes 6 blocks. And then you can place bets with your Bitcoin on any other markets on their platform. And also, you're going to be able to create your own markets very soon. And you're going to be able to also earn 1.5% of the total volume of the markets that you created. They're going to have an easy share for your social X account. You know, I'm excited about that. I keep talking about that because, you know, I want to see, you know, how many people I can get into my bets. Hopefully I can create some good ones. But they also have Bet with Friends coming in 24-hour markets. They're going to be huge. They're going to be much more than just a predictions market as well. You can learn more at betbtc.win. Make sure you sign up for an account. That's free, and you earn points, and that points goes to their future rune as well. BitPerp is the perps and leverage marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They will be launching on a Bitcoin Layer 2 very soon, and you're going to be able to place, you know, longs or shorts positions using leverage for synthetic Bitcoin assets like Dog Go to the Moon or $1 Billion Cat. Also, you're going to be able to place positions in tokens outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem, stuff like Trump coin, you know, Brett coin, whatever ones are popular, they're going to have there. You can learn more at bitperp.io. And Fluid Tokens, we just announced that they are going to be setting up a stake. Huge news for the Stones by Leo Collard, as well as I believe there's going to be a Dog Go to the Moon staking vault soon announced as well. These guys are really just growing their reputation here in the Bitcoin ecosystem through hard work. And so shout out to Raul and his team. If you are a founder with an established community, ordinals or runes or anything like that, reach out to Raul if you want a staking vault. He will hook you up with that. You can learn more at fluidtokens.com and click on the Bitcoin logo there to learn more about the Bitcoin side of things. They also build on Cardano if you're interested on that side. Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solutions for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder in the Bitcoin ecosystem, Bitcoin Layer 1, and you want your protocol to be a bit more quick and flexible, you can reach out to Merlin Chain and apply for a builder's grant. A couple of our partners applied and got the grant, so it's not impossible. You just need to have a focus and innovation to bring to the chain there. If you're a retail user, you can swap using merlinswap.org to swap for synthetic Dog Go to the Moon using your Merlin token or your repped Bitcoin there. You can learn more at merlinchain.io for more information there. And don't forget about our integrated partners. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we're going to have a live stream. I practiced a little bit this week. Hopefully I don't get lit up like I did last week so quickly. But Foxy is going to bring the heat with the clan wars tomorrow morning. Everybody is invited. You actually don't even need a Bitcoin wallet, I found out. You can log in with your X account if you want. But in the future, I'm probably going to want to have a Bitcoin wallet or Phantom wallet on there to log in to earn points and all that stuff once they get that set up. But they also have the Bitverse, which is the metaverse on Bitcoin. So check out Foxy. And then Ordinal Hive is your aggregator ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2. You're going to be able to find the cheapest ordinals around using Ordinal Hive. And they have amazing trader tools, like live mempool action. You're gonna be able to see if someone fat fingered a node monkey for $15 or a puppet for $5, whatever. Try to grab those. They're gonna let you know what's happening in the mempool at that very moment. But we thank you guys so much for supporting us and also checking out our partners. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and like on top of the Ordinal Hive thing, let's just say you fat fingered it, you can go fight for it back, right? And not have to pay, So if you messed up, so it's definitely something there. But you got that song stuck in my head, real cheese moving silence like lasagna.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought he meant because lasagna is like silent when you cut into it, but it's really like the G in
Cooking.
the G in lasagna is actually silent. For the longest time, dude, I thought it was because I was like, oh, it's silent when you cut lasagna, but. Took me a little while when but I thought that was funny. But guys, if you guys wouldn't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN. That's Nord. Everyone should have a VPN. And if it's not Nord, get another one. It doesn't matter to me. But if you guys do want a 70% off coupon, I was able to get that for you guys, man. So go use Nord, get the 70% off. It's $3 a month. It's stupid not to have a VPN and use Nord or whatever you want to do. But get Nord. And then Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. It could be Bitcoin at 700K. Who knows by May? May feel so long ago, but could you imagine a 700K Bitcoin being in Vegas with all these Bitcoiners? It
Party
would be
time.
absolutely amazing. It would just be like you would never forget that weekend, guys. And do not wait to get your tickets. So if you want to get them the cheapest, it's possible. It's probably right now. It's probably today, honestly, because it seems like they go up every single Friday. They might even went up today. I don't know, but definitely check out ordinalrevolution.com and hit the little banner up top. But if you guys need merch for that event or East Denver or any event, we have some of the best merch in all of crypto, not just ordinals. So definitely check everything out here. Use our Shopify. We're using a third party, so you guys don't even have to worry about us seeing your stuff or whatever. And so definitely check out everything here at ordinalrevolution.com. Hats, jackets, coats, everything you guys need, even school bags. But guys, we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. And even tomorrow, we're going to be live at 8 a.m. So definitely hit us up then. But until tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.